Well, great. I have a question for you to start us off.
Yep.
What is the worst food you've ever tasted?
Okay. I'd have to think about it because I've tasted a lot of bad stuff. I generally don't like food. But I don't know. It's probably like a raw onion or something.
Raw onion?
Yeah.
Wow. I like onions cooked, like very much
Yeah, same.
well,
I also
well
like
done.
I also
They're
like
awesome.
onions cooked. They're I think what do you call them? Aromatics or something. They're great, but
I
raw,
don't know. Raw onions, I've never tried them.
don't.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably eaten them in salads, occasionally.
I mean, that
just
doesn't
kinda
count
taste
because
like
I'm
nothing.
talking about raw onions, like eating them like an apple. I don't know why I did it.
Did you really want to test that you were not a vampire?
Okay,
That's why.
actually, okay, never mind. It's not raw onions. That is a close second. First, it's technically food. I accidentally drank vegetable oil.
Okay, no, this is not about like the food discussion. This is a discussion about your weird habits, your weird tendencies.
No.
What do you mean you drank oil? What oil? Gasoline? Or like what oil?
No. Vegetable oil, like the cooking oil.
Oh, okay.
Because I came back from I think playing football when I was a child, and then I was thirsty. I saw a bottle.
Oh my god, apple juice.
I thought it was water. Okay.
What? What kind of
I was
oil
a
did you
child.
have
I was
over
a
there,
stupid
man?
child. Okay, don't question me.
Yellow
okay?
water, piss water. Oh, I see.
This is being ableist. Shut up.
That's crazy. I mean, would it even taste that bad? It would just taste really, really oily, I guess, right?
No,
Like,
it tastes really, really bad.
really? I've
Yeah.
never tried it.
I
Obviously.
generally dislike oil and the consistency of oil, but imagine that like going into your guts. Ugh.
Oh yeah, probably. That would feel like just everything. It doesn't mix because oil
Yeah.
and water, and your whole body is water. That probably doesn't feel really great.
Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to bring this up because I got recently reminded of a taste that I just really, really hate, and it's the taste I've tasted in Thailand, and I'm sure it's also in other places in Southeast Asia, where it's kind of spicy, but it's also sweet, and it's also sour. And it's also kind of bitter. Like it's like a kind of spice they do for like that mixes all of these in some weird consistency that makes me feel like I'm eating off the street. And I got reminded of that because I went to McDonald's, and I don't really do that too much anymore. But I'm like, okay, let's get a sweet and sour sauce. And then I ate it, and I think I'm usually fine. But it was like early in the morning. I just had to get something to eat, and I just my I want to say lungs. God damn it! I don't know biology. My stomach.
And you have biology as a subject, right?
I had no choice. Okay, I had no choice. But yeah, like I just felt that sauce into some kind of sweet and sour sauce. Anybody who ate McDonald's once, they know what that is. That liquid entered my body, and I was like just viscerally screaming. And like my friend who was with me was like, "Dude, what do you mean? I like the sauce. This is the best one." I'm like, "No, but like it tastes like Thailand." And they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
It tastes like Thailand. Okay.
So yeah, it's probably not the worst food I've ever tasted, but that kind of seasoning I just really, really don't like.
Yeah, I think
And,
I think I get it because I really hate caramel popcorn with sugar. That's the thing that they
that's
sell.
just too much, bro. Like too much.
No,
Too
not
sugary.
caramel popcorn. It's like spicy. I think it's called peri something. It's spicy popcorn, but they add sugar into it, so it's really bad. Yeah.
That sounds horrible. That sounds
Yeah, it
genuinely
does, it
horrible.
does.
Yeah, I'm a big not fan, anti-fan of eating at the movie theater. I used to be a fan of it, but this is really embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm an
So I
anti-fan
used
of
to.
eating itself.
Yeah, I know.
I'm literally eating disorder. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remember when I was a kid. Obviously, you're a kid. You want to buy popcorn at the theater,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I dropped
yeah.
them every single time I bought them, or at least I dropped them like 5 times in a row in like different places. And my dad is like, "Son, you're not getting popcorn ever again." And I'm like, and then I grew up a bit, and then it's like, okay, I have the agency to buy popcorn and not dropped it. I'm not a fuck up. But then I just stopped wanting to eat it because it just makes me want to take a break.
Yeah.
Not popcorn necessarily, but like drinks, which usually come with the popcorn because you're thirsty as shit.
Yeah.
I just don't like that. I remember like a year ago, I documented my Oppenheimer experience on one of my blogs.
Yeah.
And
I remember,
I talked about how I wanted to piss during the explosion scene and I couldn't hold it in. I was like, damn it. And after that, I kind of swore off just not eating anything in the movie theaters. But yeah, okay. Let's start this thing. We have a lot to get through. Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Purposes of the Pale. We're back after a lot of shit has happened, and we're still here, and we're here to recollect ourselves at the end of the year and do basically copy versus Wolves and do a best of collection, best of the Pale 2024.
Yeah, we are. Welcome back.
Just talking about our favorite pieces of media and things. Did you have any like objects or like experiences on your list?
Okay. I mean, yeah, I do. I think I thought about it. Yeah, I have a couple of things. I don't have it listed. I'll maybe if we talk, our conversation, we'll see how the conversation goes, how the podcast goes. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think we can begin with our honorable mentions, and I want you to start off, Gray. Just give me anything. Yeah.
Honorable mention. Number 1, Space Dandy.
Wait, you watched it this year?
I did.
Wow.
I watched it in the month of May, and it's like I think it's like the second anime that I watched this year. I didn't watch too many anime this year because, it's been quite a busy year for me, as it is the last year of high school, and also a lot of other shit to do other than watch anime.
How dare you?
Space Dandy. It is directed by my one and only Shinichiro Watanabe.
You are my special.
Yeah. I mean, it has everything that Shinichiro Watanabe is great at. It has the really fucking cool and also kind of stupid, but also really cool characters like Dandy, and there's a little talking cat and a talking robot. And the main villain is like a fascist ape. And it's a very funny, and it's a very like insanely creative show. And like all the fucking, the animation is out of the fucking world. There are like certain scenes, certain episodes, and the climactic parts of certain episodes are like, your eyes will orgasm seeing those pretty colors, pretty lines, like holy shit. It has everything that Watanabe is great at. I haven't watched the second season. I think there's a second season. Yeah, there's a sequel.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it, but again, it's not like it doesn't have an overarching story or a plot. It's just these three idiots doing stuff in space. It's a episodic thing, as a lot of Watanabe's works are, but it's really compelling, and you just want to be Space Dandy, man. You just want to be stupid and just do all the right things because you're stupid. You just want to live life like this idiot. So Space Dandy's great.
And also another thing, you've said that it's like everything that's signature Watanabe, but I think what's special about Space Dandy is that he definitely let the episode directors themselves take the charge a lot of the time, and he was like, just do whatever you want. So a lot of the episodes had a lot of creative freedom. Masaki Yuasa, the Devilman Crybaby Tatami Galaxy guy, he had an episode, I think. I haven't seen it. I just know the trivia.
Actually,
stuff.
I have one particular episode in mind when I said the climactic scenes of the episodes are insanely gorgeous. I think that one episode was probably him. I may be wrong, but
he has a very distinct visual style.
There's one where he basically surfs in the space. Holy shit, it's huge. You need to watch it.
All right, I do
whenever you can. Yeah,
I've not seen a lot of anime recently.
You haven't.
All right, let's say tag every time you want to. Let's fuck it. Let's just steal
tag
versus Wolf.
I have no idea what this
Can you do it more convincingly, please?
The tag.
All right.
What?
All right. Okay. I'm gonna throw this one out there. Citizen Sleeper.
Okay.
Yeah. It is a Disco Elysium-like a indie game that came out 2023, 2022. And it is quite interesting. You basically, there's similar mechanics to Disco Elysium, as in you have dice rolls, you have dialogue, Definitely much of a lesser scale than Disco Elysium,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still, so you play as this human. Not really. It's a human replica. You're basically a machine with a human's memories on it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
basically, the whole setting is that you exist because you're a way for the corporations to not give you human rights, so you can work a shit ton.
Yeah.
And you escape that to this other ship that I'm forgetting the name of. It's the setting of the world, and there's other stuff going on and stuff. And you're just trying to survive and talk to the people there, and also they're coming to get you because you are lost property. You are not a person. You are a property. So a lot of things are going on, and you feel that desperation when you open up the game. The music is very good. I've been listening to the soundtrack when I study, very calming and stuff. But yeah,
Nice.
a very gripping story about a lot of things. I think at the end of the day, it's just about finding connection when we can, and staying alive. Just keep going, and
Yep.
eventually something good will happen. It's a very compelling
yeah.
thing. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, I wanted to play it when it first came out. I've heard both Kay and Skittles talk about it. I think they have a video on their channel called Precarity and Hope or something like that.
Yeah.
I watched it. I really wanted to play it, and I also heard Jacob Geller talk about it and how he started the game and he couldn't finish. He couldn't put the controller down until he finished it, and so I really wanted to play it, but I didn't. I will probably play it one of these days. But yeah, I'm really glad you played it though.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I just popped it on one day. I didn't expect to get so engrossed in it, but it was also like I played it in like a week, just sporadically, while every other facet of my life is like fucking chaotic as shit. Because it's such a cool, like, I love getting immersed in the world of this game, and the dice rolling mechanics as well. They're not like super in depth, but they're just random enough to make it interesting every time, because you could there's a lot of uses for different dices, and there's a whole different interface of like hacking, and like it's a very fun game as well.
Yeah.
Outside of the stories, which are sometimes heartwarming, sometimes heartbreaking, and sometimes just really weird. And yeah, I think the one main problem I have with the game the scope is one thing. It's just not a super big game, but
Yeah.
I think for what it's worth, it's really good. But also, you just get really overpowered by the end of the game. I didn't do anything. I just like maybe it's because they knew that like the mechanics when you first get the game is like you have to read through 7 pages of tutorial to understand what the fuck is going on. Maybe that's the reason. But like when I got it, because I reloaded the beginning a few times to be like, okay, this is what I have to do. When I got it, I just kind of those through the game without any difficulty. I know it's supposed to be difficult, but like at the end, it just felt like, okay, I'm just like waiting for this thing to happen that I know I know how to do, and it wasn't the most engaging. I mean, I guess the same thing could be said about Disco Elysium, where you like max out all your stats and stuff like that at the end. Maybe that's just a quirk of this type of game, but it just felt a bit boring by the end, even though the endings I really do like. Yeah, all right, that's it. Tag.
Okay. The Wailing is a 2016 film by Na Hong Jin. Sorry.
Oh.
No,
The Wailing.
The Wailing.
It's the long lost brother of Grayling.
The Wailing is a film that I think I technically didn't watch this year, but I did. Because the thing is, I remember I and my mother put this on like 2020, 2024. No, not 24. 2020 or 2021. And my mother got scared of it, and we put it off. Because it is scary. It is. So what it is it's about a small village in Korea, where there is a really mysterious sickness that is spreading, which infects people and leads people to kill their families and also themselves. And also it's really fucking terrible, gross to look at. The people infected. And we follow a policeman who is not the greatest person ever, but it's kind of a slob. But we follow him as he tries to make sense of what is going on, and as his daughter also gets infected with something. It's a great film because it's not subtle. It is not. It's not. I wouldn't say it's maximalist. It's not like, I don't know, fucking The Conjuring or like The Nun or something like that. But it's more like it is subtler than those maximalist triple A horror films. I don't know. But it's very focused. It's very based upon like Korean myths and like legends and shit. Which I really found interesting. And the Wailing, it has a really interesting look into how people who look into xenophobia, basically, because there is a Chinese person. Sorry, not Chinese. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. There's a Japanese person.
Oh, come on.
There's a Japanese person who moves in, and they suspect him of being the person who is the origin of the sickness, etc., etc. And we, look, it's a very interesting look into xenophobia. It's a very interesting look into how a community deals with things that it does not understand. It technically does have a lot of parallels with an anime that I talked about in my channel called Shiki, but it's really good. Shiki is not that good. That's the difference.
All right.
And The Wailing, it's quite a big film. It's at 156 minutes. I mean, most Korean films they tend to be longer, but it's a really good film. You should watch it. There are moments that are really fucking tense, and there are also moments that are really funny as well, because there's like some kind of Korean like horror stuff and like gore. It kind of goes hand in hand with like slapstick comedy and shit, and actually it does work, even though it doesn't sound like it should work. So yeah, it sounds
like Higurashi but Korean and live action a little bit.
Sort of, but I haven't watched. I haven't finished.
With the whole folklore.
True. But and also the ending is very, very cool. Cool as in like it's very thought provoking, and also there is my Letterboxd review. I'll probably bring up my Letterboxd reviews for all the films I talk about, which is not a lot, but yeah. I say Korean death rituals music slaps, because it does. There's an 8-minute ritual music thing there, and it's really fun.
That's cool.
Tag.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about some films as well. Let's talk about Eraserhead a little bit by David Lynch. That's on my list. Yeah, it is the first Lynch film, and holy shit, how was this his first? It is so good. When I first watched it, I was very unsettled. I did not think it was a horror film, even though I should have expected that from David Lynch. But it was very scary, especially that one shot where. Okay, so if you don't know what Eraserhead is about, for some reason, it's about a guy who finds out that he got his girlfriend pregnant, but then like a month later, the girlfriend gives birth to some horrific baby thing that looks like an AirPod. They're just taking care of the baby as everything just falls apart around the main character, whose name is Henry, played by Mr.
Pete.
Pete from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Like, I am almost sad that my first exposure to this actor is through Pete, because he just fits Eraserhead so well. He is Eraserhead, man. Like that haircut and that like really anxious feeling that he brings to every scene. He's just so scared, and I feel for him, man. It's great. But yeah, the scene I was talking about before that really scared the shit out of me was when the baby gets sick. And everything is just normal at first, and then suddenly a cut, and then the baby is rotting, and it's like, oh my god. And then the main character just goes, "Oh dear, you are sick," like very nonchalantly, and that's perfect. But yeah, it's a film about how being a parent is very scary. I liked it when I first watched it, but then I watched it again because I decided to write a school essay on it, because school was like, write an essay about a movie. I was like, okay. And it was I enjoyed it so much more the second time around, when the tension wasn't the only thing that was keeping me on my seats, but also just the way everything was shown, and the weird, bizarre imagery of everything. I loved the girl in the radiator. She is so unsettling. Why are her cheeks like that? Also, crushing. And also,
like she stomps on fetuses and like white.
No, I think they're like
out.
Semen or something. Yeah. It's horrible. The man. I think really, what's so great about Eraserhead is that, I think by the time it came out, black and white film wasn't like the most prominent like film format anymore. They had color back then already, but Eraserhead's use of black and white is just, oh my god, it's perfect. It leaves just enough ambiguity to make everything just a bit creepier. Like the stark lighting of everything, it works so well, and I can see why in The Return he decided to just do a whole episode, or at least like a big section in black and white, because he is the master. And David Lynch, don't die, please, buddy. Like, just like, please, I'm so sad. Yeah. You have anything to add with Eraserhead?
I mean, just that it's probably like the first surrealist film that I saw. And it did not disappoint. And as I said, I think I've talked about this on my channel before, which is
Eraserhead.
I mean, I've brought it up in passing. There are certain scenes in Eraserhead that will probably never leave my head ever, which is fucking huge. I mean, of course, there's the scenes of the baby, and there's the scenes with the girl, as you said, in the radiator room. And isn't there like a scene where like his head pops off?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. And also the song that the girl sings in the radio.
Yeah.
In heaven, everything.
Oh my
is
god.
fine.
Yeah.
Heaven. I love it. David Lynch is such a grasp on like warped Americana.
Indeed.
It's awesome. But yeah, tag.
Okay. Felvidek is a 2024 indie RPG game made it's made in RPG Maker as well. It's very I guess the only way I can describe it is it's Fear and Hunger, but instead of hard and scary, it is funny. And yeah, it's funny and fun and scary as well.
Wait, so what's the similarity with the Fear and Hunger? Is it the setting or?
The setting is similar in that it's like it's the it takes place somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think. Slovak, right? Yeah, Slovak Highlands, and there's castles, and it's the medieval period. There's knights. You play as a knight called, I forgot his name. I think it's like Patrick. No. It's I think they call him Paddy or something with P. It's a very Slovak name. I don't remember. And then you have your friend Priest with you, and you're basically Harry from Disco Elysium. You're a drunkard, and your wife left you.
Yeah.
But you're a knight. You see a castle burning while you're completely drunk. And then you go and check it out. That's basically the premise. And then you're trying to see what happened in the castle, and also there are cultists running around, pagan cultists, I think. And you're trying to see what their deal is, and you're trying to make sense of what's going on. Basically, there's like weird monsters and like eyeball creatures and shit.
Wow.
It's indie, it's very low budget, and it's quite short, but holy shit, it's so fucking beautiful. And also a special mention to its soundtrack, because I've used some of its soundtrack in my videos, and it's like I don't think there's a single track that disappoints in Felvidek.
Wow.
You should definitely definitely play it. And if you don't, at least listen to its soundtrack, because holy shit, it's so good.
You didn't really describe. You've described the game to me before, but I didn't know everything. That there's gonna be a medieval Harry for me to play. So it sounds really cool. It is.
And I think I may be wrong, but is it made by a single person or something? Because
I heard something about that. Yeah, I think it's a single person.
Joseph Pavelka is the name.
Shout out to Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely watching this.
And also there's a lot of history as well that goes into it. And I looked it up, and obviously there's no eyeball creatures. At least I don't think so. But yeah, a lot of historically accurate stuff as well. It's surreal horror or whatever you want to call it. Huge.
That's fun.
Really good game.
That's so fun. Yeah.
And I'm really glad like stuff like this is happening and it's not just, I don't know, AAA or AA games coming out.
Yeah, I think what you said to me after I think finishing a game that we will talk about later. Probably.
Yeah.
Something about like how, you know, if I was a AAA developer and I saw these indie games come out with such creativity, I would just kill myself.
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree with.
I mean, I would probably like restate that as in, I don't think game developers are bad people or like uncreative. It's probably, if I was a AAA game distributor, like Sony.
Yeah.
If I was Sony, I would kill myself.
No, then what about PlayStation?
Of course. Anyway, tag.
Tag. All right, let's get some music here finally. So I had way too many albums I wanted to mention, so I categorized them in fun categories. So the first category I have is great rap albums of 2024. I love hip hop. I love rap, so like the genre that got me into music further. And there's been a lot of great rap albums this year, man. I'm just gonna list them off. I won't go into detail.
Actually, before you go into it, I need to make an announcement, and I'm.
I thought we could get into it later, but we can do it now. Sure, buddy.
Okay, yeah. Fellas, I have been drained.
Oh, I did it, fellas. Let's go. He's one of us.
Oh man,
I feel like a proud dad. I feel like a proud stepdad. I feel like a proud brother. I feel like
Okay, you feel gay. Okay.
That's the least. That's the weakest insult you've ever said to me.
It's not an insult. It's okay to be gay. Okay.
Okay, it is. Yeah, it's true. But I know you said it with malice, you homophobic dumbass. No.
I mean,
okay,
I did not say it with malice. It's only malicious because if you think it's an insult, and if you think it's an insult, then you're homophobic. Actually, reverse card.
You got me. Anyways, yeah, Blade has been great. I mean, Gray has been Blade, and
I am Blade.
He's very much Blade, and he's been enjoying a lot of Blade stuff. And I never thought we'd get to this point after 2 years of you saying that the music I like is Liquid Mercury. But hey, we're here, right?
Listen, so like the thing is, I watched that video by Professor Sky, and in it, he talked about how you need to basically change the way you approach music to like appreciate drain gang music. What do you call it? Drain music?
The drain gang music, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So basically, when I first heard drain gang music, I approached it as, you know, basically it felt like mercury was being poured into my ear hole, which did not feel good. But then you have to realize that it's not that something is going into your ear hole, you're going into it. If that makes sense. So you're swimming in a vat of pure mercury, and when you like approach it like that, it's transcendental basically.
I'm just saying you just got to be more open-minded. I don't think their music is that hard to understand. I'm glad you got there, but hey, it's just.
I'm not saying it's hard to understand, but I do think there's a difference because holy shit, sorry, I have my
Is that your 60-year-old child that you're abandoning for this podcast?
No, it's my notifications. I forgot to turn them off. Anyway, I'm saying that as someone who went from like listening to punk and like rap, then going to this, there's a difference in the way you approach punk and rap and the way you approach drain gang music, because there, as you know, Professor Sky even said, it's a different kind of music, as in that like one is more like aggressive and like active. This one's more passive. Not to say it's bad. I mean, you know, they can be not passive as well. But yeah, it's a difference. I mean, at least for me, it's a difference in how you view it. It's not like, you know, yeah, go ahead.
It's just no matter what conclusion you come to, just the fact that you've, entered the code of Blade. Welcome in. I'm welcoming everybody in.
Yep.
So I'm
Blade
very
is
glad
my
about
Jesus,
that.
and Echo 2K is the most beautiful angel.
It's the most beautiful angel. Euphoria.
Like,
but actually,
before we started like recording, I have had flatline basically repeating in my head, even right now.
Flatline.
Yeah.
The next time. Actually, with this category, I didn't put Bladee here because I just put like the mainstream stuff that everybody knows that I want to shout out that are good that people know. So great rap albums, mainstream rap albums, I guess, of 2024. GNX by Kendrick, Chromocopia or Homophobia by Tyler. I saw like a bunch of tweets about like how it's like instead of Chromocopia, it's like homophobia. Dark Times by Vince Staples, a great West Coast rap album. A very dancey, very cool. It's the type of shit you put on with your like 30-year-old uncle and you just dance to it. I Lay Down My Life For You by JPEG Mafia.
Hell yeah,
very
that's
good.
probably my album of the year. If it were not for probably The Fool is probably my favorite by Bladee.
That's nice. That's my early favorite as well. Now I can't decide. But yeah, I Lay Down My Life For You. When I first listened to it, I'm like, okay, this is the greatest album I've ever made. And then I listened to it a few times, and it soured for me. And then Jenny liked it, so I decided to not like it. But then I revisited it just like a few weeks ago, and damn, like I'm really appreciating the details here and how much the production is just so inventive and so awesome. And yeah, he doesn't really revolutionize his lyrical content or really his delivery. Like I think JPEG, like the rapper, is the weakest part of this, but he still, he brings so much energy to every song, and it's just a great listen.
Yeah, I still listen to it. Like I don't think I've stopped listening to it since it came out. So
damn, it's been like 4 months.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, another one, King of the Mischievous South by Denzel motherfucking Curry. I love Denzel Curry. He's just such a genuine dude who just wants to make good music, and his music is really fun. I think the volume 2 of his like mixtape series that's called King of the Mischievous South came out in like August and had a bunch of great songs on it. And then later in November, he did a more expanded version just called it King of the Mischievous South. And I love the expanded songs as well. Like he goes into a more singing thing and it's great. But yeah, it's just a bunch of great southern hip hop bangers, and it's really cool. All right, just a few more, and then we'll be done.
Okay.
King of Kings, or Wang Zhong Wang by Jack Zebra, who is the Chinese Blade that I'm making a video on. This is like some underground SoundCloud rap distorted rage thing, and you can barely make out his lyrics, even if you're Chinese. Like he's just kind of wailing on it, and it's abrasive, but it's also really rewarding. And like he does a lot of different styles, and his delivery is really unique. How it bypasses the language, because it's hard to sound quote unquote cool, in the traditional way in Chinese, because the intonation is so rigid, right? You can't really be like really flexible with it. But then he decides to, okay, I'm just gonna not let anybody understand what I'm saying, and then I'm good. And he is good, like so.
Okay.
It's he's doing some really interesting stuff that I'm gonna go on in more detail in some video in the future. All right, last two. Okay. Samurai by Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco is this rapper from the early 2000s.
I've heard about him, yeah.
Yeah, very lyrical guy and stuff. And this one is a concept. You read the title Samurai, and then he's like, okay, is it gonna be some like samurai concept album, I guess, where he talks about samurai? But it's actually an album where he writes in the perspective of Amy Winehouse.
Who's that?
Amy Winehouse is this like famous like jazz singer that died an early tragic death in the early 2000s. Okay. She has this album called Back to Black. That's popular. It's just like, why? And that's like, but then you actually dig into it. It's like, wait, it makes sense. Like, and it's like, it's super innocuous connecting point that somehow creates this really fun album. It's not the most fun listen sometimes. The singing parts don't really get me there, but like some of the beats are really cool, and yeah, it's a fun time. Lastly, it's Chief Keef's Almighty So Too. Chief Keef is the pioneer in the subgenre called Chicago drill. It's basically like, imagine like the dirtiest, grimiest, like hardest rap screamy shit that's like not really distorted in the same way that Peggy is, but like it's just really, really aggressive, barely on beat, because it's coming from such a rough place. It originated from O Block in Chicago, like the most violent, the most crime infested place. And a decade later, Chief Keef, he blew up in like 14, and now he's like 27 or something. Like, it's crazy that he's still doing this, and he's still making great music. Just really stupid, really silly, but the energy really gets to me. And I'll like send you a song, and you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
All right, tag. But let me go to the bathroom first. Hello, I'm back.
Hello, back. I am Dad. Okay. So, Silent Hill 3.
Oh. Okay, not on the list, but it's
yeah.
in the honorable mentions. All right.
It is. So, okay, I technically have this is like double honorable mention because, okay, I'd first like to talk about Silent Hill 1, which I'm still in the process of completing as of
you haven't
recording.
completed
I haven't
it.
finished
Okay.
it, so I can't. I won't be like adding it into like the honorable mentions, but I guess this is like a half honorable mention.
Okay.
The first three Silent Hill games are like basically like holy shit, they are great. They are
Yeah.
they're probably the highest rated I don't know survival horror to come out ever. And yeah, Team Silent is their you know the team that developed those games. They're great. But Silent Hill 3 is what I finished this year. Silent Hill 1, I'm still playing it. The stuff that I have played is holy shit. It's great. The atmosphere. I just want to live in Silent Hill, but I don't want to live there. If you know, yeah.
Okay. I see.
Silent Hill 3 is about the
hottest woman of all time.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
you have a
serious. I'm
type?
serious. I need to save her.
You can fix her.
I can fix
the
her.
man who's worse. She is she's basically the daughter of the protagonist of the first game. Her name is Heather Mason. I don't think it's actually Heather. I think she changed her name afterwards. It's technically Cheryl Mason, but it's Heather Mason. It follows Heather Mason as a teenage girl, 17-year-old, I think. I'm not sure. As she basically treads through the town of Silent Hill and deals with the creepy shit that goes on there, you know. And it's great. A lot of people have talked about how it deals with puberty and like growing up, specifically from the female perspective, and childbirth and the prospect of childbirth to a teenage girl and stuff. Which it really does do that. And like, I mean, you can just like look at Cheryl's character model, except for the fact that her face looks.
I will.
Her face looks like she's completely. She's an insomniac.
No, what are you talking about?
No.
Don't insult her.
No, I'm not insulting. That is what she is. She is. She's
really?
like in the. Okay, she's not an insomniac because like literally the first scene is of her, in a dream. But like she is basically like Lane in that like she can go mad at any instant. Basically.
Oh, okay.
That's basically the mental state we find her in. She's very mentally, emotionally in like a very precarious situation, as a lot of people are during, the age
puberty.
Puberty. Not particularly puberty, like late.
Yeah, isn't she like
teenagers?
18? Because
Yeah.
that would be really weird for me to say all of this.
Okay. All right. But yeah, look at her character. It's like she's dressed in a very, not like, I don't know, like not insecure, but like, she's not dressed in like a very fashionable way. She's just really, like inward character. She's not like presenting herself in a, I'm not talking about like sexually or anything, but like,
I see what you mean. Yeah. Very reserved, kind of scared.
Reserved, indeed. Yeah. All she has to look forward to is her father, who, spoiler. I'm not gonna spoil. Things happen in this game, and she goes through a lot, and it's probably. I think this, as of right now, I haven't finished the first game, but it is the second favorite out of the trilogy for me, even though a lot of people seem to tend to put it in the last place, which we'll see. But still, it's a really great game, and obviously it's Silent Hill. It's great.
Yeah, it's very interesting how for Silent Hill 2, they're like, for 1 and 3 are like continuous stories, while 2 is just this like weird offshoot. They just accidentally happen to make the greatest survival horror game of all time or something. Like it's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, Silent Hill 2 has its problems, but yeah, I agree. And also, I told you this from through text, but I need James's jacket.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very cool jacket indeed. Yeah.
But yeah, tag.
How many honorable mentions do you have? I'll just like follow your lead.
I
Because
have 1, 2, 2 more.
All right.
And they're both games.
Wow. I gotta make these count then. Let's see. I won't have any other chance to talk about this, so let's talk about the show Part 1, or Kara no Shoujo, which is a visual novel. I'm sorry, just bear with me for a second.
Oh my god.
So the show Part 1 is a part of a series developed by this developer called Innocent Gray, and they are murder mystery visual novels. No, but the Gray is with the E, so it's not you actually. Yeah. And yeah, this game in particular is set in post-war Japan, 1950s Japan, and a series of really gruesome murders start happening. So I'm just going to describe the murders. So they chop off the limbs of young high school girls, and then they tear out their uteruses and instead fill their wombs with black eggs. That's the level we're dealing with here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very grotesque. It doesn't show much, but like sometimes you get a perspective shift and you go into the killer's head, like stuff like that. And yeah, it's a murder procedural game about finding the killer and stuff like that, and it's mostly normal in that regard. Just with the fact that like it's very, because it's a visual novel and it's marketed towards a niche audience. This is something I appreciate with visual novels, that you can go anywhere. Nobody really cares. So they can talk about uterus. They can talk about really, really horrific shit that happened, and these murders are really gruesome. And you could say it's gratuitous. I say it's flavor. I don't know. It's a personal thing, preference. But yeah, I love the aesthetic of this game. The music's really nice, and the setting is definitely a big part of it. Like every person in this game is suffering from post-war trauma in their own ways, and a lot of this game is about just a lot of this game is just about people coping with like what they've lost in these tragic events. And this is something I've said to you, and you just kind of just brushed it off because it sounds obvious, but then you play this game. Basically, detectives can only show up when the deed has been done, and they can only salvage what's been around, what's happening. They can only find the culprit for some sense of solace, and that's it. And that's a big part of this game, as people just around you start dying. Like characters you've known for hours just die off without you having any desire to any ability to help it. And then you have to move on. It's a very powerful game about just moving on with that, because once you uncover the killers, obviously you realize that there's like one maniac guy who's just I'm crazy, wow, but most of them are just so driven mad by their grief, by their trauma, that they are willing to develop these really, really horrible obsessions. Like obsession is a big part of this game. They're obsessed with like an artwork, so they want to create this artwork out of like human bodies, stuff like that. It's like very 14-year-old edgy, that kind of shit. But I think it thematically really resonated with me in that way. And also it's really fun to piece out what's happening. You have a little bit of control. And I had to use a guide because, oh my god, this game is really unintuitive at points because it came out in 2008. But it's a very nice. I enjoy all the characters and I want them to be happy. They're not, but I want them to be happy.
Nice.
I think the one unfortunate point is that this is a eroge. There's sex in it, and there's a lot of high school girls, and the main character is a 30-year-old detective. Come on. And I was like, god damn it. But fortunately, you can avoid all of that. It's not plot. Okay, it is plot necessary to say you fuck one girl, but I don't. But that's if you want to get the true ending. I don't know, man. It's visual novels. Like, I love the twisted, warped logic you have to do. It's like, but yeah, I played it as a non-criminal, so I did not try to have sex with any of the girls. Apparently, you can go on different routes, and then you do that. It's just what it is. You can't even avoid like a lot of them. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, thank you for this evidence. Now I'm gonna top you off. I'm like, wait, I don't need that. What are you talking about? It's
Okay.
very odd.
Uh-huh.
It's a visual novel, but it has a lot of good parts, and I enjoyed my time with it. And yeah, all the characters are pretty cool. And I want to play part 2 now because people say it just gets better. And I saw the artwork for part 2. It's like, god damn, it's very nice. Yeah, tag.
Okay. I guess. Okay. All right. Chrono Trigger.
Sheesh! It's not on the list. Damn.
It is. It is. It's an honorable mention because it's.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about it a while
You've
back.
definitely talked about it on the podcast. I try to avoid things that we've already talked about on the podcast, but it's fine to just talk about
Yeah,
a good
we've
thing again.
basically talked about a lot of most of the stuff actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I just want to show my appreciation once again. It's one of the greatest RPGs ever made. Period. It's it's about a small group of friends across time. Trying to protect the world basically. It's there's nothing really new about anything at all except for maybe like at the time the real-time combat mechanics was pretty new. It wasn't the first to do it, but it was probably, I'm pretty sure it was the one that got it popular. And like I think that most newer RPGs have basically evolved from what Chrono Trigger has done, I think.
I see.
And when I say RPGs, I mean like, I don't know, the Final Fantasies, and not like
Yeah, turn-based RPGs.
Cyberpunk.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
like the lineage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It's it's great. It's a very cozy game, and I really love the time aspect of it. I don't know. I really like time-based stuff. Time-based narratives. I mean, and this one is a very cozy spin on the time-based thing. You go to the future. You have characters from the future. You have characters from the medieval period. You have characters from the prehistoric period, and they're all really great. And also,
nice.
all of them have their own arcs and their own like problems to deal with, their own character progression stuff, and they're all done. I wouldn't say there's nothing groundbreaking there. They're all very solidly done, quite conventional. But again, this is what set the convention, so it's not even fair to.
It's kind of like Dune and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's like reading the Bible, but.
All right, buddy.
What I meant is like it's OG. There's not a lot you can talk about it. It's been talked about a lot, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Tag.
All right. Well, I gotta make this one count. Let's talk about a little mangaka called Shuzo Oshimi, the author of Aku no Hana and Welcome Home Alice. There's gonna be a few people on my list because I just want to include their oeuvre. Have you heard that word? Like, it means
I've heard it too much. It's like the word for pretentious people.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that because I'm not pretentious. Either way, so yeah, Aku no Hana and Welcome Home Alice are both great manga that I enjoyed a lot and personally impacted me on some level. Aku no Hana, well, Jenny recommended it to me, so I don't like it. But Welcome Home Alice, no. Aku no Hana is great. It's a very unique story, as in it's about coming of age kind of, but it's portrayed in a very weird way that you wouldn't see anywhere else. There's the element of it that's like being trapped in an old town with no future, but then it's not really explored too much because the character just like moves away halfway through the book. I'm like, okay, sure. There's a sense of like, Aku no Hana, so Flowers of Evil by Charles Baudelaire. That's what this manga is named off of, and how it's related to the story is that the character thinks that he understands Baudelaire, while nobody does, even though he is just a poser about it. Like he doesn't actually understand it. He just wants to feel different from everybody else. And like it's a lot of like teenage narratives that are probably familiar to anybody who wants to read the Shuzo Oshimi manga and cares about this kind of shit. So definitely I can see why it's very impactful, and I love seeing the progression of the character and how he goes to pretty depraved places and comes back to a very solid end. I don't know, like it's a story that's in some ways kind of like conformist by the end, because the main I guess not the main character, but like the foil to the main character, Nakamura, the girl who's just this like complete wild card, she eventually just kind of settles down. Have you read it? You've read it, right? Have you not?
I haven't finished it, but I have.
Oh,
read.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just fine. I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm not a spoiler baby like you. You fucking.
Yeah. No, it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of elements of that, but I don't know. I don't see it. I appreciate for what it is, which is just a really, really good like character study of a lot of characters and how people grow up in this time. And yeah, it's a very all-encompassing story, so I can't describe it too much, which is a stark contrast to Welcome Home Alice, which is about like one thing and pretty much that one thing only, which is, well, gender, right? So one thing about Shuzo Oshimi is that like he really wants his characters to like just make out as soon as possible, and I like that because because it's like it's teenage hormones, and he's like doing it in a way that's like realistic, as in they're irresponsible, and they just do it to like get people to pay attention to them, which makes sense. That's how it goes usually.
Yeah.
Welcome Home Alice is this story about how actually I'm guessing the main character is called Alice, but I don't remember now. So it's about this person who dresses up as a girl and then wants to be referred to as a girl, but also is, before this person went away, they were presenting as male, and they still retain this part of their male identity while talking to their old friends. Like, eventually it just becomes this thing where a really messy love triangle, and this girl... this is really interesting. I think, again, a staple in Shuzo Oshimi stories is this, like, ideal girl who is popular, has her shit together, and this really wimpy guy who's just kind of around. Yeah, and these two eventually find themselves together because, of course, the popular girl isn't what she says she is, stuff like that. And eventually they just they leverage each other's sexuality against them in a really compelling and sad way. And eventually, these identities, battles of gender, kind of lead to a confrontation between the main characters and also other characters that are like struggling with their identity as like, man, I don't feel like a man, I don't feel like a woman, that kind of thing. That personally I find really relatable. And yeah, it's just like it reaches a really idyllic point where they strip all of that away to just like feel the connection of somebody. And they basically defeat gender. They defeat gender at the end, and it was a really powerful moment. And compared to Akunohana, which is just like it's hopeful, but it's like there's a sense of okay, we're settling into the real world. Welcome Home Alice says, "Fuck you! I'm gonna be a weird gender fluid blob," and it's empowering in a way, but it's also really powerful. There's some lines in it that's like, okay, Shuzo Oshimi. I haven't talked about his craft yet. He's a great mangaka. He's a great illustrator, even though he's not like masterful in the same way that Miura is, or vagabond author. Inoue is, right?
Yeah.
Like his artwork doesn't have that kind of like grandiosity, but the way he's able to structure the panels, the way he is just comfortable having no dialogue for pages upon pages upon pages because he knows his imagery is that strong. I love this guy's work, and I think he's starting a new work that I'm gonna definitely pay attention to. So yeah, I read a few more of his stuff that wasn't as good. There was Happiness, which is about like cannibals, I guess. Like, you would like it, but I don't like it. Happiness. Let's end this podcast. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. It's purposes.
I mean, all right. He said his main thing was gender, so I assumed okay, never mind.
No. Well, he does struggle with gender in other works. There's Inside Mari, which Keiko had made a whole good video on.
Yeah, that was a really great video. Almost amazing. I think it made me cry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful shit.
It is.
All right. You have one more, right? Or
I do.
Tag.
It's kind of a half honorable mention because I haven't finished it. It's a TV show. It's not a game. It's called
Breaking
Dark.
Bad. Oh, Dark. Oh, is it a German TV show?
It is.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. I don't know anything about it though.
It's a story about this is very weird, but stick with me. Okay. It's a story about a small town where things are not the way it seems.
Oh my god, my favorite show, Riverdale.
What? Okay. I was thinking Twin Peaks, but okay.
You need the better show, Riverdale.
Sure. Okay. So Dark is a town. Dark is not a town. Dark is a video, not a video. Holy shit. Dark,
Oh my God.
It's a TV show about a
Yeah.
town called Winden, that is basically like a nuclear power plant town, and that like there's a huge nuclear power plant that is in the vicinity. I guess, yeah, in the outskirts of the town, and basically the whole town is basically dependent on the power or the energy generated by the plant. And, you know, and it's like a really weird town because, well, okay, talking about it too much will be spoiler territory, and it is kind of like something that you should probably go into blind, because it's a thriller mystery thing.
Okay.
But basically, we have a lot of characters that are all very interesting. Like, it's very Twin Peaks, as in, obviously, as I said, it's a small town mystery thing. People go missing, and also dead bodies. I don't know. It's also about, who killed X. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But what is interesting is that it's less surreal and more like time travel-y, sort of. But in a good way. I mean, I say but because time travel can be a real mixed bag for a lot of people, and it really depends on how you approach it. But I think what they're doing is really interesting, and I even like it's a very interesting thing that they're like looking for, like that they're going for. It's about it's about a community. It's about I guess what do you call it? Capitalist expansion. I don't know.
Okay.
And also it's about growing up in precarious times, and I guess desire, and how we perceive time and ourselves, time and being, phenomenology.
Wow.
Anyway, there's literally a character named Helge.
Oh my God.
And unfortunately, there was a Reddit post that I found on r/dark, which was like, I just finished the show about Hegel. ... And I was very excited, and I opened the post, and it was just about the character. They misspelled the name, and I was very
Oh my
let down.
God. Damn. All right.
But yeah,
That's very
watch
sad.
Dark if you want more Twin Peaks, but that also obviously no one can do Twin Peaks again.
What do you mean? Riverdale's like Twin Peaks, but better.
Kill yourself, man. Watch it if you want. I haven't finished it. It's 3 seasons long. I'm still in the first season, but it's good.
I think that's the final tag to me right now.
That is the tag for the honorable mention. Yeah, final tag for honorable mention. Yeah.
All right. Final honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, we can talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a combination of anime that I had thought about a lot during the earlier parts of this year. The trilogy of anime, the unofficial trilogy I call the Adolescent Artist Angst trilogy. So basically, spring 2024, there were 3 newly airing anime that explored similar themes regarding when you find your passion as a teenager, but then you realize that your passion is art, which is one of the most challenging, grueling, fuck you industries ever, and how you want to deal with that. TBK Euphonium 3, Girls Band Cry, and Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. I wanted to make a video about this, but eventually I just had other stuff to do, and didn't have enough time, and also just like, it's a cool concept if the shows were airing, but the shows after they aired, I just felt like, okay, it wasn't as rushed as I thought it would be. But yeah, it's very interesting. So TBK Euphonium 3, the final season, has a lot about, where are the characters going after this club, this I guess orchestra club that they've put so much time into, and a lot of it is about finding purpose in the world after, like, even though you have this passion that you want to do, what do you want to go with it? Because really, you can, I guess, go pro, but what if you don't want to go pro? Like, it's a very realistic struggle, and it's a struggle I see a lot of my friends go through, because they've been dancing for 5 years, and they're like, okay, what do I do with this? They've been skating for 7 years. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be the next Yuri on Ice. So
I don't want to be gay.
yes, they were very homophobic as well.
Okay.
No, they were not.
That's
They were not.
sad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They're a good person. But yeah, so that struggle was really interesting, and eventually it comes to a conclusion where, well, I guess I can spoil it. Like basically, the main character just becomes a teacher, like as in like a guide for other people who want to explore this passion
Okay.
and understand what they found. And there's a bit part of me that's like, dude, you're gonna dedicate your whole life to this one fucking high school? Come on. But also, there's another part of me that's like, okay, it's symbolically representing that she wants to encourage other people to find what she found in this hobby. That you know, the desire to get better, to find something to strive for, the importance of teamwork and stuff like that. So I get what they're going for, and that's cool. Meanwhile, Girls Band Cry is a show about a 17-year-old who runs away from home to Tokyo and then starts a band, and then that's it. And it's a very much like a show where the passion, the pure passion to scream at the middle of the street like a J-drama just carries you through life. It's about passion. It's about how there's a whole subplot about how basically one of the guitarist was in a former band that went more commercial, and they're like, oh, fuck you, man, I want to be more commercial, and then that's a whole thing. And also they're gay, but not really. I hate queer baiting so much. All of these shows queer bait, actually. That's another thing.
Okay.
It's so sad. Like there was like, come on, just be lesbian, but they couldn't be. One was more I guess explicit than the others, but still, nothing came of it.
Okay.
But yeah, Girls Band Cry, they do convey the struggles a bit, about like, god damn it, I don't have money to live. All of these things just happen when you just want to make a name for yourself in a big city like Tokyo. But there's also a lot of like, fuck you, we're gonna do it. A lot of really badass performance sequences that are all in 3D, which I really appreciated. It's a very nice looking show. I've definitely sent you some clips of it that probably annoyed you while the show was airing.
Yep.
And the final piece in this is Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, which is, I guess, like a combination of all of them. It's about a girl who, becomes, conceptually, it's the best one because it's about like an artist collective that are like internet based, and they upload like covers, then they have art, they have editing, they have all of this other shit like VTubing, and it's a very interesting concept. But then the execution is kind of shit. So I'm sorry, it's the worst one out of them
Okay.
three, and it's also like the gayest, but then it's not gay anymore. It's sad, but it also kind of effectively conveys like the stage in your life when you're lost. You have a passion, but you don't know if you want to pursue it. And how do you even pursue it? That feeling is very well captured, and that's why I appreciate these three shows. And yes, that's the honorable mentions. Well, I think it's time to enter our official list.
Okay.
Official best of the year. I have 10 entries over here, and since you started off the honorable mentions, I'll start off in the official list, and we can go one by one, just like we did with the honorable mentions. And my top 10 thing that happened this year is the most historic feud in the history of hip-hop, Drake versus Kendrick.
Okay.
Yes. It encompasses a lot of things. You can go back to 10 years ago with the controllers and all of that. But yeah, basically, Kendrick sparked up a beef. Well, he didn't really. He just said like some normal thing about how motherfuck the big three. It's just Big Me on one of the songs on Metro. Have you heard that song?
I have.
It's such a good song. I love the beat on that one. It's a great song, and his verse went crazy, and everybody was like, oh shit, he's gonna start something. And something was started indeed. J. Cole jumped in, said, never mind. He went out, and then Drake came in with diss tracks, and then Kendrick clapped back, and oh my god, holy shit, oh my god, he's still going. What do you mean a concert? What do you mean a whole album? It's crazy. As a hip-hop fan, somebody who's been into, Kendrick literally just made me love the genre, fall in love with the genre with Good Kid, Mad City, and then T-Pab, the 2.5.
Yeah.
I love Kendrick, and just seeing him do this was obviously very cathartic, and culturally also meant something, as in like, Drake has been this kind of I guess you could say vulture in some ways, but there's a lot of controversy surrounding that angle, because like I think it's fine for a Canadian guy who came from a not like O Block to make some sensual music that's kind of like R&B about like, girls not liking him. I think that's fine. You could do that, but like it's just about the posing the being a poser that eventually involved what Drake did, because he tried to like involve himself with all these kind of styles that were popular because they were popular. Like, I have to do it, and that kind of thing is pretty disgusting. And eventually, you know, more stuff about him being a fucking pedophile and stuff like that. And yeah, Kendrick just moved in a way that nobody really thought anybody in the rap beef could, because people just thought, okay, what is the rap beef? You make a song, I make a song, and who says the song is better, and we win. And then Pusha T, which is another rapper I like, in 2018 revealed that Drake had a son on one of the diss tracks, and they're like, oh shit, I guess this is the standard now, we have to reveal some personal information. So everybody was kind of, you know, they were not very excited about Euphoria. I mean, they were excited about Euphoria, but a lot of them were like, but you didn't say he had a second child, so what's the point? What's the point? You just said things we all know, even though it's lyrically so good. You know, people just forgot the point. And then, you know, when Kendrick doesn't have information, he has the motherfucking tactics, dude. Holy shit. So
that is true.
Yeah, so Drake comes through with push-ups, and then Tailor-Made, which is a whole weird AI thing. Kendrick a few weeks later comes back with Euphoria, and then Drake drops a new song. Wait, so no, Kendrick drops a song on Friday or something called 616 LA, which is just a song about like planting doubt in Drake's mind. You know, do you think anybody from OVO is working for me? That kind of shit. And it's a very cool song that my friend really likes. He thinks is the best song off the beef, and he is very mad that it's not on streaming. And yeah, and then a day later, Drake drops Family Matters, and like 2 minutes, and then like 10 minutes later, he drops Meet the Grams, and then everything implodes, and he's just like, it's the most.
It's also very like, holy shit! I can't believe I was aware of all this, and also I am living in the moment right now.
Yeah, that's such a big thing. Like, I wanted to include it because it's such a big cultural moment that I was genuinely living through. I was like, I think it was holidays for me.
It was for me too.
Yeah, so I was just like, I woke up every day. Is there a new Kendrick song? Is there a new Drake song? And I just watched it, and I set the notification for the old Twitter accounts that were following this beef, and like, oh my god, I was so hyped for this. And yeah, Kendrick uses tactic, which is called distraction, and everybody does not care about Family Matters. They care about Meet the Grams. And then a day later, Not Like Us becomes the biggest pop song of the year. And this is another tactic that like he's the pop guy, right? Like, people really thought he could win because Kendrick is more lyrical, miracle, and Drake is just like anybody can listen to him. But then Kendrick came out with the most catchy song, and then he won the whole beef. And then he made all of California, including gangs, dance on stage during Juneteenth. And then he announces that he's gonna do a Super Bowl. So the whole Super Bowl, the whole country is gonna call Drake a pedophile. And then he releases an album which is not exactly about a diss anymore, but you know, he does address it on some songs, and it's a very good song, a very, very good album about, again, rapping his culture, rapping for West Coast, which is what he's been fighting for the whole time. And yeah, like as the beef evolved, there were more interpretations by people like Professor Sky and others about how this is like a battle for the soul of hip hop, and how this is like he is incorporating his
the FD
own culture
video was also good.
But there's also definitely a part of me that's like this like, at least when it got really ugly, during the Meet the Grams thing, I was like, okay, this is not like, they're not gonna come out of this unscathed, because like it just feels like, well, he's so vicious, and like, what good does really come out of this? And it's what Macklemore said on the Palestine song. Fuck a response from Drake. What's happening with Palestine? Like, there was a part of me that's like, I felt kind of bad for indulging in this cultural like moment. But it was levied a bit because Kendrick made it about his own culture, about the celebration of the wonderful art that came through. Like, his first public appearance after the beef was at a fucking college, and he's like, I'm so proud of you guys, you're the next generation. And he's like, he definitely has the right heart in the right place, even though you could say that it's not the most important thing we could have been focusing at the time. So yeah, it was a great moment. What do you have to, what did you feel when the whole thing was going down?
I mean, yeah, as I said, I did, like, usually, like, when it comes to these kinds of things, especially in like not just hip hop but pop culture in general, I usually only end up hearing about that stuff after it's happened. But to be aware of what's happening and also living through when it's happening is a huge deal for me. And like, also, I'm very new to hip hop and Kendrick. I think I think I only like really listened to Kendrick, and like I only actually really started to listen to albums after like I Met You, right? I think you're the person who would send me albums as such. I wouldn't usually listen to albums. But yeah, it's only afterwards that I actually started to listen to Kendrick and like albums in general. But I again, as you basically said everything. But again, I really like how I really like how it is more than just Drake is a pedophile and also he doesn't like women. It's a lot more than that, and it's also also it's not like Kendrick also has certain things that is I don't know how to put it, like not questionable but like weird.
Yeah, he is
right?
a do you know what a black Israelite is?
No. Can you explain? I mean, I can't. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, it's basically the idea that black people are the true descendants of God, and he talked about it a bit on the Damn album before. But yeah, it's involved in a lot of movements that are kind of really, really weird, really fundamentalist, really, really. I'm sure FD Signifiers talked about it in some of his videos.
And also there is I think in his B-sides channel he talks about how Kendrick is the villain of the feud, actually, because like he is, because like he did basically, I'm what the culture is feeling, right? He did basically manipulate all of us as well, and he's a mastermind, I'll give him that, but there is, it's not like a black and white thing here. I mean, although obviously Drake sucks. I never
it's a very nuanced thing. And I think it's gonna be again, right? This is a cultural movement. This will be studied, from years to come. I'm just like really impressed, really just in awe at this happening. Like a medium, a genre I love so much, changing so much in a year, because I really don't think Drake is coming back from this, man. Like, he's now doing like gambling streams with XQC. He's not making music, so it's crazy. But yeah, tag. Okay.
Actually, while you were talking, I did make a top 10 list. So
okay, good.
So first thing I want to talk about, it's a film.
Ooh.
It's called I Saw the TV Glow.
I told my sister yesterday about this movie, and like we have to watch it because we're both gay little gremlins. So I think we'll like this.
Okay, so before I talk about it, I just want to say I'm not trans, and I know this movie has a lot. I mean, it is very trans coded. I think it is people describe it as innately trans, and I get that. I mean, obviously I wouldn't understand it as thoroughly as trans people would, but I get that, and I really appreciate it for it. And also the director is they have a lot of queer stuff in their their work oeuvre.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to see what they do with their success. This film was pretty popular in not in the mainstream, but in the circles that I am in, which is mainly just trans femme, lesbian Twitter. But it's about it's a great film. It's about a boy. It's about Owen, a person growing up in the mid 2000s, who's basically an outcast, and there's a lot of subtext. It's very subtle, but also at times it isn't, and it's also quite surreal as well. There's like a scene where, kind of spoilers. It's just a spoiler of this scene. I'm not spoiling the context or anything. It's very Lynchian. There's a lot of Lynchian aspects to it, but specifically that there's one scene that really sticks with me where he puts they put their head inside the TV, and there's like smoke and like shit coming out of the TV, and like they're screaming, and holy shit, that stuck with me.
That
almost
awesome.
The same. It is.
From some of the color choices, right? It reminds me of
true.
Have you heard of Houseu? It's a Japanese horror movie.
Yeah, I have. I think I talk about it in my well-esteemed, critically acclaimed Erogura video.
Oh, did you? I forgot
I did,
about that one.
I did.
Okay, basically, Houseu and like everything that director does, like it's kind of in the same way where it's like it's live action, but it's very colorful and there's like a lot of shit going on that's like weird. So I got that vibe from just the images I've seen from I saw the TV Glow. I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's it explores a lot of things, and I think like the main character, not only are they queer, they're also I think they're what do you call it? Like neuroatypical.
Oh, okay.
And there's aspects of it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to self-diagnose here, but a lot of things I felt very. It hit close to home. Maybe I'm trans or I'm autistic. I don't know.
Maybe both. Why not both?
Yeah, maybe all of the above.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, there is there's a scene where they so this follows Owen as they grew up and they meet another person. I think her name is Maddie. Maddie is
Maddie Healy, 1975. Go on.
Okay, shut up. Maddie is a little bit older than Owen, but she's also quite outcast, kind of, kind of a loner, and they bond over talking about a TV show called The Pink Opaque, and that's the aspect of it that really like captured my interest because you wouldn't like, you know how, I mean, it obviously applies to us in that a lot of connections that we've built surrounds media, right?
Yeah,
I mean, both of us, we became friends after talking about Disco Elysium, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And I think this film actually does quite a good expression of how media affects our social life and how it can be a really positive and like nurturing environment to express oneself and like just live well in a world that really just sucks, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and a lot of really good music choices as well. There's one Yule song called "The Anthem of a 17-Year-Old Girl." Really good. It introduced me to Yule.
Yeah. And also, I just noticed this. Like, this is also another reason I want to watch the movie because the soundtrack is composed, at least in part, by Alex fucking G. Do you know who Alex G is?
Wait, who is that?
Alex G is like there's like Carsey Harris and there's Alex G. They're like both Bandcamps, starting from Bandcamp, they built huge indie audiences, and now he's working like with Frank Ocean and stuff like that. Like Alex G is like very, very like every sad white girl likes Alex G, including me. And it's like it was surprising to see him do a movie soundtrack. So I would definitely want to check it out for that as well.
Yeah. So there's another song that I really want to talk about, which is called, I think it's just called "I Saw the TV Glow." It's the lyrics on it, man, holy shit. Let me actually pull it up real quick. It's called Claw Machine. And it has Phoebe Bridgers, who I think, do you know who that is?
Yes, I do. I have a gay sister. What do you mean?
Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of good. I paint the ceiling black so I don't notice when my eyes are open.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. And if you're sad and lonely and gay, this is you won't see films like this. There is no other film like this out there. It's really good.
Yeah.
And also, there's one more scene that I want to talk about where Owen is talking to Maddie, and like Maddie is lesbian, and she is like, "You're not into me, are you?" or something like that. And Owen says, "Oh no," and like she asks, "Who are you into?" and he's like, "I don't know. I think I just like TV shows."
Oh, damn, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, watch it. Definitely watch it. You don't have to be, you don't have to like, you don't have to really get into the, you just have to watch it. It's just something you need to experience. You don't have to like, I don't know, psychoanalyze it or anything.
Yeah.
And of course, as I said, there's a lot of trans stuff that I don't know. I'm not going to talk about because I don't know. I'm only approaching it from what I do know. And even from what I do know, it's fucking great. So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's great. That's a great entry. Definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, tag.
All right. Well, this one probably I've talked about it with you in private before, so I won't. I probably will keep this brief. One Piece fan letter. It is a 20-minute episode, or 24, traditional normal anime episode, original episode, adapting a novel that's taking place in the One Piece universe, and it's just, god damn it, man! It made me cry like 5 seconds in, and it's 5 minutes in, and I couldn't stop crying the whole way through. It's everything I love about One Piece. It encapsulates what it's about. Like, it's about bond. It's about friends. It's about connection. It's about all that. Like, surprise! I think there's a common through line with what I like, but it's just about like how family bonds and how friends and keep us together. And we might not acknowledge it right away, but it's the people around us that matter the most. And that's such a simple message that One Piece conveys once again and again and again so well. That's why it's the GOAT. It's not my favorite or anything, but like I haven't seen enough of it because I forgot a lot of it while watching it as a kid. But yeah, I just love that, and yeah, it just reminds me of like watching One Piece every day as a child. And yeah, there's also an element that's like, because this story, One Piece is such a huge world, and the story is set in kind of these spectators, just the normal living people who are just in this world while the Straw Hats are going on such grand adventures. And the whole premise is that this girl, who has orange hair, like Nami, who's the navigator, you've seen her.
Yeah.
In the show, she really idolizes Nami because she's like the only normal girl amongst all these crazy devil fruit users. Well, not really, but yeah. And then she's like, I want to give her a letter. I want to give Nami like a letter that I just really, she's really inspired me, and that's so good. The whole, it just feels warm inside to see that our story's heroes, which are all these like people who've been through a lot, but like stick together and like fight injustices, fight evil, inspire other people. I was like, god damn it! And also we're like that. It's like the audience. I'm a fan of Luffy. I'm a fan of like all these guys, and they've really inspired me as well. So like seeing a character who's like me, like doing that, and eventually, obviously because it's dramatic, she goes through that and like. Doesn't make it. She couldn't deliver the letter or something like that. But like she gets just involved in a lot of stuff. And yeah, the whole story, like I think another brilliant thing is that even though Straw Hats is such a big part of this girl's life, you never actually see them. Like there's not a single line that Luffy speaks. Like none of them appear. And that's also like such a great part about it. Like we really just are spectating something great happening, something good, something like huge. It's like. Okay, I wanted to make a Luigi Mangione joke. I probably shouldn't have. But there's some other, Luffy is a terrorist, so.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I just loved it. Loved every second of it, and it reminded me why I loved One Piece so much. Also, a big thing about One Piece is that it's very unabashed, and maybe this is a quirk of Japanese media in general. Like, it's very unabashed and just showing evil as evil. Like a lot of other shit, like Western media, I feel like is very obsessed with like morally gray redemption arcs and stuff like that. Well,
whoa, you said gray. Okay.
Well, oh my god. While with other like Eastern media, there seems to be more of like, some people just fucking suck. Which depends. It might be a good thing, might be not. But like in this case, because this world is so much about disparity, so much about like class, how people are categorized into pirates and marines. Like it works so well. It's this girl who's just being oppressed by everybody around her because she's like doesn't fit in and stuff like that. I just loved it. It's great. I love One Piece. I need to catch up, and please, Oda, I know you like befriended a pedophile, but I still believe in you. Please finish the story well.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh no, it's about like the Rurouni Kenshin, who's another manga, right? That guy. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Oda worked under him for a while, and he didn't come out to publicly condemn that this guy's a pedophile. But it's not good.
It's like Chomsky when he was he was found out to be in the Epstein thing. Epstein Island.
God damn it.
List thing. Anyway.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, Stephen Hawking was there. Like, what would he do?
I don't care about that guy.
Yeah, but like, think about it. What would he even do there? He has like 2 fingers active. He can't even be a pedophile. He can't even be a pedophile. Like, what are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about? Okay.
No, Stephen Hawking. You know the guy who's like paralyzed.
Yeah, I know. I don't care about.
Yeah, I was like, why would he be there? Just to watch? What a freak. Okay.
Stop.
All right. I'll tag.
Okay. Thank you. So okay, this is a person.
Okay.
So I've been thinking about like YouTube. There's a lot of YouTubers and YouTube videos that have really affected me throughout this year. And this year, I think more than anyone, it's actually the works of Alexander Avila.
Yeah, the goat. At least the rising goat. Like, oh my god, his videos. You can take it.
Yeah. So I think he used to go by "Are They Gay?" And it was mostly focused on exactly what it is. Are they gay? Are they gay? I don't know. Bruno from Encanto? Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, Encanto. Or are they gay? I don't know. Captain America. I forgot his name. Holy shit. Anyway, now, I think last year, I'm not sure. I think it was last year. They completely pivoted to a more straightforward video essay, sociology, philosophy channel. After completing sociology degree, I think. And now he makes really long, really good videos. And I don't think you can get the amount of research, but it's also very accessible, and it's not like you're watching a lecture. It's very accessible. It's very fun. There's a lot of funny moments there. He's very he has his he has this type of presenting information in a really fun way, and he talks about the most pressing of problems like liberalism, postmodernism, capitalism, and like the death of community and stuff like that. And his latest video is Brat and the Culture of Addiction. And there's like one moment. Yeah, there's a moment in there where he just stares at the camera for like minutes. And the point is, can you even do that anymore? And I really like that. And also, I think it all started with, I think I watched the TikTok Gave Me Autism video. And that, holy shit, that really, really changed how I looked at diagnosis and like psychology and psychiatry in general. And then there's this video about Taylor Swift, and there is video about masculinity and how conservative invented gender. Holy shit, that video is like probably the video that I have in my if I was still an internet debate bro, I would probably just like link that video to every argument, every gender-based argument ever, because it's so good. It's very thorough. It's very very well written and like well researched, and he knows what he's talking about. That's the main thing. And it's great. And again, he's talking about things that unfortunately not a lot of people are talking about. I think a lot of left tube is still focused on like owning conservatives or whatever,
culture war stuff mostly.
Which sure, there is precedent there, I guess, but I think, although, I mean, I guess I'm kind of wrong if I say the people in power are no longer, because obviously Trump won the election, so I can no longer say the people in power are no longer cartoonish villains. But, even still, I don't think Trump can be a cartoonish villain. Even he has to, liberalize. Because liberalism is, Dolores Day. It will betray us all like how she betrayed Harry. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But Alexander Avila. I'm really looking forward to more of his stuff. And
dude, honestly, I think what's so impressive is that he feels like, and I don't say this lightly, like I love a lot of YouTube content, like I've been inspired by so many people, but a lot of people, it just feels like, okay, they're doing their own thing and they're doing really well and they're telling their story like how, like the perfect like action button and people like that. But there's a few people that just like, they are actively pushing the discourse forward. And those are the people that are like, holy shit, CJDX and Alexander Avila, and there's probably some other people I don't know, but like Alexander Avila, his video on Hamilton, like, we've been there, right? Like, so Hamilton comes out, everybody was like, it's so cool, it's very cool, and every white girl theater kid gets behind it, and then people after a few years are like, isn't it American propaganda? And that's where we've like, kind of stopped. But then she takes the other step forward and analyzes it in the best way I've ever seen anybody do it. Even though like CJ has a video about Hamilton, he doesn't go that deep, right? And same thing with the conservatives, gender videos, self-diagnosis. He just does it every time. Like, what the fuck?
I think there's like one point that he circles back in most of his videos, which is we're all trans, in that like even cisgender people also follow the same subjectification that trans people do. It's not like how popular discourse paints it at all. And I think that too really, really changed how I look at the entire discourse, as well as myself. So
it is really incredible how they are really able to just expand the discourse and push the discourse forward, and I love it. The same thing with CJ. I wanted to mention him. He's not on here because he's made like 2 videos this year, but they're good. You know. I love the fashion one.
I guess a cheat honorable mention to CJDX. The latest video, I'm not too sure if I'll get behind, but the video before that, the fashion
Very
one,
good.
Again, probably the best video on fashion that I've seen on YouTube. Ever. And I've seen surprisingly a lot of it.
Most of the stuff I've seen about fashion is like Instagram reels about like, oh yeah, here's how I dress as a New Yorker, or something like that. CJDX. But like we glaze him every podcast, so I feel like I didn't need to talk about it more. But Alexander Avila definitely deserves it. Shout out to you, my king.
I'm really interested to see what he's doing next. Okay, tag.
All right. Mouthwashing, number 8.
Okay.
Is it on your list? It's on your list.
So I guess we'll talk about it together
later. No, let's go later. Let's go like because it's.
I mean,
later
it's
on
fine
your list, right?
because like literally it was the next one.
Oh wait, so it's the same. Your number 8 is also mouthwashing.
Yeah.
Nice. This is like when girls' periods match up.
What the fuck?
So mouthwashing, right? Goddamn, what a great game! Amazing.
Yes.
Let's see. We talked about it a bit, but I think really what stood out is that
I think I talked about it. I mean, not on the
not on the podcast. We talked about it. Yeah. Off the podcast. But I played it in an afternoon, and honestly, the first time I played it, I got a little bit of it, and I thought it was cool and creepy, and I thought that was it. And then I thought about it, and then I thought about it a bit more, and I was like, and then I watched other people play through it, and I focused on the moments, and I'm like, God, this game is so. I think Jacob Geller in his Games of the Year video puts it really well. About something about like the dialogue is so simple, but it contains so much.
Yeah.
You know, it feels. It's honestly one of the best subtly written games I've ever seen. Because there's some games that like just go over the board. Like I love Disco Elysium, but goddamn, the prose is very much like flowery, very cool sounding. But this one is just like it's just dialogue. It's just how people talk. But it's oh my god, every line you can pour over it, and it's brilliant. And the way the story is constructed, once you understand it, it revisits. It revisits so much. I loved it.
Yeah, and I specifically talked about a particular monologue by Swansea, a character, which goes like, old dogs laughing and snarling on a waterbed floor, mocking the moon for daring to show its face. All nausea and wreckage and vomit and ugly cruelty. The only problem in the world, an empty bottle. Those were the best days of my life. Yeah. Those were the best days of my life. Holy shit! My tears welled up when I saw that part.
Yeah.
And then there's also another part where it was immediately afterwards, where it's like, I got nothing to hide, ready to face the music. I can see myself for what I am.
Cowardly motherfucker.
A cowardly, selfish motherfucker, and you can't even see it. And like again, I've already like told you about like the what is it like class analysis of that. Which is another thing that I don't see a lot of discourse on, because okay, here's kind of like a tangent. There's r/mouthwashing. I usually good games have good subreddits and good fan bases, but r/mouthwashing is kind of weird because like I saw a post that was that not a post, but yeah, I saw a post that was linking to another a Twitter thread or something discussing Jimmy and how and like I didn't read the thread itself, but I went to the comments and I saw that I like this thread because it does not like excuse Jimmy by bringing up his class background. That's not what I think a lot of discourse around mouthwashing kind of like hones in, narrows its view onto like a singular thing, which is, you know, the can we say that word, rape that happens in the background, which again I think is a really good what do you call it, a really good I think they handled it well in that they didn't make it like the thing that is there. They didn't try to like spectacularize it. It's in the background and it's very subtle, but it's still you feel its gravity in the atmosphere.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you realize it, because I didn't realize it in my first playthrough, unfortunately.
Really? I did, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, it was only by the very last part where like you see Curly's avatar for the first time. You see Curly's face. I'm like, oh shit, I understand what's happening right now. But yeah, it's very subtle. But
it is. I thought like, I mean, she says she's pregnant, and we know. So I thought it was like, dude, she got pregnant. I didn't realize the non-consensual part, and it's not. I don't think I'm alone, because John Super Apache Wolf also didn't realize it. But yeah, it's still really, really great. But what my gripe with it is that, again, I think this is not a gripe with the game or like works that focus on sexual assault and like crimes and like shit of that nature. But I think this is more of a gripe with how people nowadays just you don't like, you can also like view these things in a wider socio-political scale and not just like individualize it, and you can still maintain its gravity and its impact. And I think a lot of people miss that out. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's normal. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that people. Yeah.
It feels like, I mean, you can still, both things can exist at once, right? Like you can just
it can
point out the wider context while also just saying, yeah, this guy's bad. This guy's a narcissist. He's a rapist. He's bad. And I don't think the existence of one negates the other. Like it's not like
exactly.
Yeah, I don't feel like people are like just so focused on the individual that they're not unable to grasp that. Yeah, it's also because working in Amazon fucking sucks. Like there's I don't know, like I don't think this game,
that's the thing, you say that, but then I go to the r/mouthwashing and it's all about how Jimmy is a bad person and Curly is also an enabler and how everything is bad because people are bad. I just think that's just really short-sighted and really sad way to view the world. But again, I think when you know, aside from that, talking about the game itself, it's a great game. I'm still mind blown that it's an indie game and it's really simple, but it's not at all. It's really, really well made. Holy shit! And again, I think Jacob Geller said that the studio, I forgot its name, is a studio to watch.
Wrong organ.
Yeah, Wrong Organ. Hell yeah. And of course, there's a lot of stuff that is like, what do you call it? Unpleasing, hard to, unsettling and hard to digest. Only the real ones know what that means. Okay.
All right. It's a great game, and I really feel like it's such a tight narrative, and it pulled off with all of the, just like, everything comes together in a way that's just perfect. Like honestly, the only reason I don't like, I didn't put it as like a 10 out of 10 is because it had a lot of the gameplay sections I did not care for. Like sure, you can mix the drinks, sure, but like the chase section where you have to just like wait for the fucking horse, I don't care. But like I think the story is just perfect. I love the little.
It is.
Like the scenes in the cemetery where just fighting Swansea. I was like, what the fuck? But the gameplay in that also was kind of lacking. Also the reason, like the shooting is. I mean, it's not a shooting game, obviously, but it just felt weird. Yeah, it's a brilliant game.
And like one last thing, my primary like praise for the game. I mean, it's not primary. I have a lot of praise for it. One thing is like, you know, the main motif of take responsibility, right? It's like a very multifaceted thing, because obviously there's take responsibility for what you did to Anya, Jimmy, right? And then there's also take responsibility in that, like, as the manager, as the captain.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people that have that kind of fixing mentality, or like they, you know, they're managers. And I told you about it, like how, like, you know, the middle class is basically, you know, the class of the managers, the supervisors, right? And I think it really captures that ethos of I can fix it. I'm the manager. I'll pull it all together. But like you can't. It's not. You just fucking can't. And the more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. The worse you make it. And that's unfortunately how you are. That is what your coexistence is as a middle class person. But you will never see it again. And as Swansea said, you're a selfish asshole. You cannot see yourself for what you are in doing it. Specifically here, Jimmy, but also in a wider class sense.
Yeah. I love how he takes, like, the relationship between Jimmy and Curly is the most fascinating part of the game for me, because it starts off as like he respects Curly a lot, or at least it seems so, but like he's probably so obsessed with himself that he doesn't care too much about any other person. But he's like, yeah, Jimmy's the captain, no, Curly's the captain, and he is like, Jimmy wants his place so bad. And like when I read this somewhere, I actually don't know if it's like explicit in the game, where like, so at one point Curly gets a call, and I think it's Pony Express going down, and everybody's getting let go except Curly, who is getting a promotion somewhere else, right? And Jimmy's like, fuck you, like, the lowest rung is our highest on our ladder, and he's like really mad about that. But then he also really wants the role, but he doesn't understand what it means to take responsibility. Even in this, like, we can say, Curly, his way of taking responsibility is also ignoring the suffering of people, because he is a manager. Middle managers are focusing on like solving the problem for the corporation instead of solving the problem for the person who's being violated. All that. But he takes it. And he also takes other things, like that one quote of like, "Our worst moments don't make us." He takes that and he's like, and just contextualizes in his narrative, and he just wants to take responsibility so bad, but he just can't, because he's an incompetent asshole, narcissist, piece of shit. And it's perfect. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I guess I should go then, because we both talked about Mouthwashing.
Go. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well, it's another visual novel. Another goddamn visual novel.
Oh my god.
Witch
also,
on the Holy Night.
Just an aside. So this is a top. What this video called? What are we doing here?
We're doing. I mean, like the best collection of the Pale or something like that. We'll come up with something.
Is it just media per se?
Well, akin to Versus Wolves, I said we could probably include like person or like experiences or anything else.
Okay. In that sense, in that case, I have two. That is
all right.
Exactly, media.
Yeah, it's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah. So Witch on a Holy Night, I talked about it a bit before. I had a bit more time to think about it, and I'm just gonna say it's a fun story, really, really well presented, about three friends and about connection, about all of that again. But I think what Witch on a Holy Night really highlights is the transitory nature of everything. Like because this is set in the beginning of this massive Kinoko Nasu verse that includes Fate, Tsukihime, everything. It's the beginning, and these characters will see in other contexts doing other shit, and that this is not gonna last. And the story acknowledges it. Like, this friendship should never have happened, because this part of it, like there's part of it that's like our roles in society. This guy's a commoner, this guy's a witch, and they're never supposed to cross paths, but they did. And it's romantic in a way, like it's a typical role about like, oh, this is what Twilight was. But also, again, I think there's a more of a in this case, there's a lot of about the generational debt. Like, I have to carry this lineage on, which I personally related to somehow because I come from a very rigid Asian family. Meanwhile, the main character who came from the mountains, he is forcibly detached from his previous environment, detached from his generation, where like he was so rural that he doesn't have the concept of like days and stuff like that. It's weird. The concept of tomorrow and stuff like that. It's a very fascinating exploration of these two characters and how they come together, and how their bond maybe won't last forever, but for the moment, it's beautiful. And I just love it. Like I think a lot of times, especially when you're teenagers, you think about, okay, a lot of changes are happening, and you think about some things that's not gonna last. Like a lot of times when people get into romantic relationships, even though they're like explicitly not romantic, and I really appreciate that in the story, they're like, well, I can't imagine spending my whole life with you, so like why would I even bother? Especially like a lot of them think like that after they've been through a lot of shit, and it's just the only answer is just to take the next step. It's just to go forward. It's just to grab the other person's hand and say, I'm glad I'm spending the new year with you, and that's the final line of the story. And I'm like, God damn it, that's all it is, man. So that's why I love the game, and I'll make a 2-hour video on it one day.
Okay.
Tag.
All right. Okay. So, okay.
Okay. What?
Actually, so I put Drain Gang.
Yes. Wait. Let me. Can we hold off? Because I have it higher on my list for obvious reasons.
Okay. I mean, how high is it?
Let's not spoil that. Let's not spoil that right now.
Okay. So we'll hold off on that. So I guess you go, or I go.
I think you should go just because I went already.
Okay. Twin Peaks.
Sure. I also have that on my list. God damn it. All right. All right.
Is it closer?
It's closer. It's closer. It's
maybe
just one step above. It's my number 5.
Okay, so I guess we'll talk about Twin Peaks then.
Yeah, Twin Peaks, man. I really thought Twin Peaks would be higher for you.
Did you even finish Twin Peaks?
No, it's the Twin Peaks, the first 2 seasons, and Fire Walk with Me. That's what I'm including.
Poser. Fuck you.
I don't want to watch Return anymore. No, I'll watch it one day. I'll watch it one day. I have.
Coward.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll get to the moment where he says, "I am the FBI," and I'll pop off and ejaculate. But right now, I just don't need it right now because, like, goddamn. Mostly this is about Fire Walk with Me, but even the 2 seasons are great. But Fire Walk with Me is a perfect movie. Oh my god, it's so good. It is. I really expected it to be longer on, higher on your list because you made a whole 15-minute video about it and you were really into it and stuff like that. So
maybe it's like recency bias. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, Twin Peaks.
I don't think I have a lot to talk about because we've already talked about Twin Peaks here, and also I've made a video on it. It's like the best TV show for me of all time ever. I don't think it can be topped ever. David Lynch is my favorite director. He's a genius. Dale Cooper is so cool. I have a black suit and a tie and a white shirt, and I'll be Dale Cooper with a goatee for my farewell.
Awesome.
And also, it's like it's like nothing else. Basically.
Yeah, really. It's. I mean, I love procedurals. I love like detective stuff, mystery stuff, and this one is just unlike anything I've ever.
It is, and also like Fire Walk with Me. Holy shit! It's again. It's another thing that will never leave me after watching it. I've only watched it once right now because that's all I can stomach for right now. I will watch it again for sure. Like holy shit, Laura Palmer, like she is more than a person or a character at this point. She's like, she's huge. She's huge. As in like, the concept of like, not the concept, but the whole film is insane.
Actually,
I think,
but like actually about that, I think Hazel, the YouTuber, also talked about it on her Letterboxd because she does reviews occasionally. I like that in Fire Walk with Me, Laura's like an actual person instead of the idea that she mostly is across the whole show.
No.
She is a person.
What I meant, okay, that's true. What I meant is like, she stands for like more than like. I'm not talking about. I was talking specifically about Fire Walk with Me and how it made her more than a person or a character, and it like a greater struggle against like a mental health and like growing up and also other stuff and like faith even and like hope and all that stuff.
I think
That's
you
what
talked
I
about
meant.
you talked about like the patriarchal family structures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is true. But yeah, I'm just
Which is
saying, like,
true, but-
on the other hand, you could
Yeah.
also say that this movie humanized her in a way that when she's dead, you can't really, and I appreciate that element as well. Like, she's very
Yeah.
human, despite also representing all of that.
I think there's a one scene in there that I really come back to all the time, where it's like in Fire Walk with Me, where she and Donna are talking, and she's like, Donna asks, I think, do you think when you fall in space you'll slow down eventually, or will you go faster and faster? And she's like, I'll keep falling faster and faster, and like the angels won't help me. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, David Lynch has a knack for dialogue that's just amazing. Like, really nobody can do his job. Even in his earlier stuff, like Eraserhead, is just that movie doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but when it hits, it's like, god damn, it's so unsettling.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think my favorite scene is just the scene at the I guess it's not the One Eyed Jacks, but like it's some other brothel that they go to. And
Is it like
dance
the
and
red
stuff.
scene? The red scene.
Yeah,
like, it's
the
all
red
red. Yeah, I think that's like a very iconic scene. I think I saw a video about Twin Peaks, or where they bring up Twin Peaks, and they also bring up another show called Atlanta.
Oh, by Donald Glover. Oh shit! I need to watch
Exactly. And that scene thing about like people talking. Actually, that's also in Life is Strange. Holy shit, I forgot about that. Life is Strange also has a similar scene, and then that scene, there's something about it. Yeah, it's great. And also I really like how all their dialogue is they're talking over really loud music. And isn't the dialogue also like subbed?
Yeah, it's subtitled.
Yeah.
And it's just so unsettling, the scene, and like
It
Laura's
is,
just kind of
yeah.
she's so out of it because she's on drugs. But then Donna, she finds this one moment to be like, "Fuck, no, Donna, get away!" And then that's why, like, I don't know, I find the humanity in her. Like, she's not she wants her friends to be safe, and that's it. Like, she realizes like she is fucked up in so many ways, but she just doesn't want her friend to be like that. And that's a heartbreaking thing to be like. See.
And also like it's like probably the best depiction of like losing grip with losing your grip with your mind, basically. It's really hard to watch, but
it's hard to watch.
Holy hell, yeah, a lot of screaming and a lot of wailing, but like not in a way that it's inappropriate or like insensitive. It's all very real, even though like there's angels and like demon,
Bob,
not demon, but like
oh
Bob.
The scene where you go into like, I think Bob's like mouth or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and also Cooper saying like, "Laura, don't take the ring." So unsettling. Like, I love the presence of Cooper in this movie, because he's just kind of he's really not there. And like, there's no ceremonious entrance. Like, there is one in the deleted scenes, I think. But yeah, it was just cut, and it was like he just kind of walks in. It's like, "Sorry, I had a bad dream today. What's the character? Gordon, I had a bad dream today." And that's it. Like, he doesn't. He is this symbol of like peace and positivity that helps Twin Peaks so much.
There.
He's gone, and that's beautiful. That's brilliant.
And also David Bowie is there.
And he has a southern accent even though he's British.
Yeah.
He's
Philip Jeffries.
He's, from that and Omicron the Nomad Soul, he had a very illustrious career for sure.
Indeed.
But yeah. Also Cheryl Lee, the performance in Hard Walk with Me.
Yeah.
She should win all the Oscars ever.
Absolutely.
I could give every one of her to.
Also, I guess I technically did spoil it, right?
What?
The end of Return in my video too.
Yeah.
Like her scream at the end.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I
it's
really
like
wish
the
she went on
scream
to,
that shakes the world, basically.
Yeah, I really wish she went on to do more like stuff, but I feel like she was kind of like, she can't really top Laura Palmer, can she?
Indeed,
so like there was a lot of that, but yeah, I wish she got more recognition. Lastly, Angela Badalamenti, aka Literal God, as you said in your video.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Bum 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 bum. The theme,
man.
amazing.
Oh man, talking about it really makes me want to watch it again.
I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing again, but yeah, it's very nice. It's a very good show. Yeah. I think I'll go on with my number 6 then because we skipped
Yeah.
around quite a bit. It's a little guy called Phil Elverum. Do you know who Phil Elverum is?
Ooh, no.
It's the frontman of the Microphones and Mount Erie.
Okay, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, okay,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
This year, he's become one of my favorite artists after I realized that the Glow Part 2 is the greatest album ever made, maybe. It's just like, it's such a jagged little piece of music that's like imperfect in many ways, and like a lot of the songs don't make sense, but like once you accept that they don't make sense, and you don't find it an issue that a lot of the songs are just like interludes where nothing really happens, like it becomes such an organic piece. Like his music is so organic in a way that like not a lot of songs are. And I decided to go into his Mount Erie discography, and once I got like his shtick, which is like his thing is like imperfect like musical motifs more than like songs really. It's another thing where like, you know, it's you change the approach you approach other music with Phil Elverum. And it just clicked. You know, Mount Erie, amazing albums like No Flashlight, Dawn, great acoustic albums. No Flashlight has some of the greatest drumming I've ever heard on any album. It's crazy. Not even because it's like so insane, just because like it's so organic and like so booming and it's awesome. And also his magnum opus, he has like 3 magnum opuses. One is the Glow Part 2 under the Microphones name. He changed the name from Microphones to Mount Erie like in 2005 or something for no reason, just because he wanted to. Like it doesn't matter. But yeah, in 2016 he made an album called A Crow Looked at Me, which I mentioned in my Mariko video. It's about his wife's death of cancer, and it is the most devastating piece of music, the most devastating thing I've ever experienced. Like the grief is so there, like the way he steadily and weakly delivers his lyrics and the musical elements. Like it's not super ornate anything obviously, but like the songs, they just like they feel so, the emotions are so potent. The lyrics are so I don't even want to quote them because they are so good as like in the song. Like I feel like I don't do them justice if you just don't hear it in the song. But yeah, amazing lyrics. And then his new magnum opus, well, not really magnum opus, like too soon to decide, but Night Palace is pretty good. Night Palace, it's a good album, isn't it? I mean, yeah, again, it's a thing where you have to realize, yeah, he doesn't make like traditional songs. A lot of them are just like, why does it ends really weirdly. But I like that. I think that, you know, I dig his thing. I dig how organic it is, and it's a return, a grand return after years of grief. You know, obviously grief doesn't disappear so early. So after A Crow Part 2, he made like 3 other albums just about like how much shit he went through during that time. But now he's back and he's talking about more grand concepts. Like Professor's Guy has a 1 hour plus amazing video on this album that I think you should watch. I think you'll like it after that because holy shit. It's great. But yeah, I've really gotten into his stuff, and I find him a huge inspiration as well. Like the way he talks about his artistic life, capturing ideas, and like he seems like a very down to earth, happy dude, and I just want him the best. Yeah. All right, tag.
Okay. I have an anime. It's Mononoke.
Oh shit! It's that high over Twin Peaks.
Well, yeah, I guess it's kind of like recency bias, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess, okay, you could basically like, you know, switch around the middle portions here and there. It would make sense. It would make a difference because, you know, it changes day to day, hour to hour, second to second, because that's how it is. Anyway, Mononoke is a really... So I've been wanting to watch Mononoke for a long time. I first heard about it a while ago, but didn't watch it because it did kind of seem daunting because its art style is different, quite a bit different. But I did watch it recently. I think it is the last anime that I watched after Shiki. Yeah, just a second. Let me pull it up on AniList so I can I have something to look at. So Mononoke is, I think, I don't exactly know anything about its background, so I'll just talk about what it is. It's following a medicine seller, a kusuriuri or something. A medicine seller who's not really a medicine seller. He is a ghost hunter of sorts, but it's almost not ghost, it's Mononoke. those are what the things are called. And like the main series, I think there's a couple of films that I need to watch, not sequels, but like spin-offs type of things with the main character as the only linking thread. So the main series has a few arcs that follows the medicine seller. We don't know his name, it's just medicine seller or Kusuriuri. And we follow him as he basically solves the cases. It's very like Sherlock Holmesy, but also kind of like Monogatari in that, like, you know, all the Mononoke is very tied into what they are affecting in that. Like, for example, there is an arc, I think the final arc, I guess, of the anime is like a ghost train, it's technically called Bakeneko, which but it's in a train, and there's like it's an infinity train or whatever. not the Mugen train thing, show. But he's in it, and a couple of others are in it, and at first he's like trying to figure out why it's them that is being haunted, but then they figure out there's a murder actually that took place, and they're all connected to varying different levels. And at first, the murder is very straightforward. It's a suicide. But then again, as you know, he questions each person. It's not a straightforward Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. It's way more quirky, and like obviously the art style, as I said, is very very unique. Especially in the last arc, actually, because in the last arc they use like mannequins as the
what?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Like real life mannequins.
No, but it's textured like that, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, there is nothing that looks like Mononoke. And I guess this time, this video or this year, I've been kind of focusing more on how things look and less on how stories are. Although we did talk about a lot of story focused stuff, Mononoke again. There's nothing that looks like it. So what I mean when I say it's like Monogatari is that each case is linked with its characters and their personal lives, but also and like things that they have basically repressed, right? The medicine seller is kind of like a psychoanalyst in that sense, in that he's basically like diving into their unconscious, and like and the Mononoke itself, which is the ghost or the creature or whatever, is deeply linked with their unconscious and like something that they did or experienced in the past that they're desperately trying to hide from themselves as well. And it's very, very fascinating, especially when you consider that all the Mononoke are also Japanese like folk horror things. Really, really fun. And also the main character has face paint, and it really it makes me interested in trying those out, because I was quite not really into that.
You were
but
quite aroused by that main character.
Indeed. I guess, I don't know. And also there's another really fun thing about, when I say quirky, there's like, so the main character has like a sword, and the sword is locked, and it can only be opened if he finds the truth, the name, and the form of the Mononoke.
Okay. What is this? Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of things to dig into it. I don't think I've completely digested the thing, but still, it's a great thing. Definitely watch it. Very artsy, very quirky. Huge. You should definitely watch it though.
The only like people I've seen talk about it is Joey from The Anime Man, and I don't trust any of his opinions. But this actually sounds good.
I mean, that guy, you know, he kind of made his brand watching anime, right? I'm The Anime Man.
Well,
so I guess, you know.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I think it's just he probably had good opinions before, but now he's just like he's just on the anime now so much that like I don't know. I don't care about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, just a second. I guess also it's kind of funny because this is kind of like Mushishi in a sense, right? I haven't watched Mushishi, but I have watched a couple of episodes, and it's also, I think there's like a trope kind of thing where it's like, not a trope, but like you know how these kinds of anime where it's like a main character that's very peculiar in themselves, but also they do some kind of work that concerns a diverse group of people, and like each episode is like a different thing,
Yeah,
a
so
monster
like
of the week type, but it's also
yeah,
very deep.
it's that kind of thing with like Kino's Journey, Mushishi, that kind of
Yeah,
wandering
exactly.
hero show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I tend to like gravitate towards those kinds of things. We also really like Kino's Journey. It's like I have like 5 anime that are 10 out of 10s, and I think one of them is Kino's Journey, I think. I'm not sure.
Really? 10
think
out of
so.
10 Kino's Journey.
Or is it 9.5? But it's still very up there.
Okay, I see. That's cool. I did not know that really. All right. Okay, are you gonna tag?
No, I'm not gonna. We can sit here in silence. Tag.
All right. Well, there's another person on my list, and I definitely haven't consumed all of this person's oeuvre yet, but I've been introduced to the vast expanse of his work.
That makes it sound like a soup or something. I haven't
yeah.
consumed all of its oeuvre. Okay.
Yeah. Shinji Iwai, the director of Lily Choo Choo and other things that are very good. So I'm going to list off what I watched by him. Lily Choo Choo I watched last year, so I don't count.
Okay. I mean, technically, didn't we watch Swallowtail Butterfly this year?
Yes, that's why I'm counting it.
Okay, so yeah, I also, I guess, tag in there, I guess.
Oh.
I haven't, I don't have it in my list because I forgot about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it is probably the best film I've watched. Close to the best film. I have another one there.
I'm so happy about that, man. But yeah.
Thank you.
So
I mean, I wouldn't have watched it if it were not for you recommending. So thank you.
That warms my heart more than anything. So yeah, Shinji Iwai, I watched Swallowtail Butterfly, I watched Love Letter, I watched Picnic, I watched some shorts of his, and I watched a little bit of Hana and Alice, and I thought it was kind of shit, but he's still good probably. I just need to be in a different headspace. But yeah, so I can talk about the individual films, but I just overall want to talk about how like I really feel like Shinji Iwai, I really connect to his like artistic philosophy, for a lack of a better word, where I've always had a disconnect with people who are just like absolutely geniuses. Like, David Lynch, sure, he's the best. Obviously, he's the best. Like, he's the good. But there's people who achieve brilliance in like subtler little ways that doesn't get the big flashes, but I really appreciate. Like, I think Denzel Curry, music wise, is one of them. Like, he's been so consistent and he's always changing up a little bit, but he's never done something like a To Pimp a Butterfly necessarily, but his work is still very substantive and very interesting. Now, I think Shinji Iwai's works are way better than Denzel Curry, but like still, Lily Choo Choo, amazing, and Swallowtail Butterfly, and all of these films just feel like he has an idea, and then he just tries to refine that idea to the best of his ability. Like, and he always incorporates these little things that feel kind of weird and out of place to make it feel kind of unsettling in a way. Okay, so the best way to showcase is just his shorts. I watched 2 of them during the autumn break. The Snow King and A Summer Solstice Story, and these two shorts are just like this is why he's good. One is a very DIY style, which I appreciate a lot. Even in Love Letter, which is like this super big budget production with Miho Nakayama, Japan's most popular idol. By the way, rest in peace. She died like a few days ago. That's sad. Okay. I liked her music. But yeah, like even in that, like I think he did that, and then he's like, fuck it, for the rest of my career, I'm just doing all kinds of DIY shit. I don't care. And yeah, like Lily Choo Choo, the camera moves like it's very handheld. Same thing with Swallowtail Butterfly. It feels like it's filmed on a camcorder half the time. And then Picnic is the same. Picnic has like no budget, and I love it. Like they made this movie on like $2, and it's brilliant. But yeah, the DIY spirit, and also just like these really weird details that convey a sense of misery and kind of a, I'm gonna use the pretentious word, malaise, that you just you feel more than you can describe. Like for example, in the Summer Solstice Story. So this story is about a girl who's in her room, and that's it. And you have her in a monologue, and she's talking about her boyfriend. Like I'm waiting for my boyfriend to come back, and stuff like that. My boyfriend, and then a few sentences in, she's like, my boyfriend beats me. That's just a signal of his love. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? And it's like, and then you see her do a thing where she looks at the newspaper of the day. She cuts out all the headlines that contain casualties, suffering, abuse, and stuff, and then she puts them on her desk, and she just kind of looks at them. And I was like, and that's it. And these moments, like, they don't mean much, but like they convey so much about like social, anxiety and like the conveyance of information, and then it's brushed off. And then the story is mostly a very just like a sincere kind of retelling of like, oh, right now I'm cooking my meal, but my boyfriend will be doing this right now, and my boyfriend will be doing that right now, and then stuff like that. And then by the end, I want to spoil the twist because oh my god, the twist is that so. She hears a ring from next door, and then a man comes in, and then the man looks at her, and she's like doing makeup, like because like, oh, my boyfriend's coming back, and then a man next door walks into the room and then opens the window and sees her with her makeup on, and then they wave at each other. The movie ends. The boyfriend has been the next door neighbor the whole time. There's no boyfriend, and I was like, fuck, like these ideas are like. He has this one idea of like, okay, here's the twist, and he just makes it like he is able to imbue every idea with this level of nuance, and like, fuck, I love this guy so much. Like, this is what I want to make. Like, I don't think I can make the next Eraserhead. Like, I'm not that ambitious about my like skills, but like I can make that. I want to make something like that, like something with details to pour over, and like the same thing with the Snow King. So I'm not gonna spoil this one because it's simpler, but it's basically about a girl who has a really bad spending habit, and she's always like that. And then there's one part about her boyfriend, and I was like, this boyfriend has been a really, he's a big guy, but he's like really nice and stuff like that. And one day he really wanted to adopt a kitty, but on the street, but he knows that his mom doesn't want kitties, and he's like, he looked at the kitty, he's like, oh, that's so sad. And then we cut to him throwing the kitty into the river.
Okay.
It's like, what? And like that kind of free-spirited creativity, and that idea is like, I love this movie. Oh my god, I'm just gonna keep rambling, but yeah, I love his shit.
Yeah.
Picnic is the most devastating movie I've ever seen, and it's like there's a weird guy with like mushrooms for penises, and it's like, oh, what the fuck, and he starts pissing on the main character. I was like. He's the goat. Swallowtail Butterfly is the best movie ever made. I'm just gonna say that best movie ever. Not really, but it's very good. I rewatched it again and again because I need to write another essay for school, so I decided to do my favorite movie. And there's some parts that was like, okay, you could say this is kind of cheesy, but I love it. I love the cheese. I really like how it's just unabashedly doing the Asian drama tropes. Like one of the tropes is like, they sing after like discovering a gruesome. Okay, I think I'm while I'm rambling, I'm slowly grasping like a common theme in Shinji Iwai's work. Like his worlds are like brutal. Like the settings are brutal. They're horrific, but the characters they don't really feel it. Like they feel it, but like they don't really feel it. The same thing with Swallowtail Butterfly. Like the character, one character digs into like a dead man's bowels to grab a tape of My Way, and then they play My Way. And I was like, what? What did you do? And like before that, the man dies in such a comical way where he just gets pushed away down the stairs, and then he gets crushed, and then a random like schizo girl waits like, oh, that guy's dead, and that's it. Like brutality in this world is like kind of treated as a innocuous detail, and that makes it so much more poignant. And anyways, Swallowtail Butterfly, there's some parts about like, oh, the evil industry is gonna take Glico away from this. It's okay, but it's just the emotions I feel it so much. I described it one time as the perfect combination between Japanese romanticism and Chinese realism, and that's what I think I told you about this probably. So I'm not gonna detail it now. I'm sorry. Or something. I went to so much detail about Shinji Iwai, but I love him.
Me too. I need to watch more though.
Yeah, you should watch Picnic next. That one is a doozy. It's also filled with the brutalities and the beautiful stuff, and also it stars Chara, in another lead role, and this one's it's interesting as well. Like she kills crows for fun, shit like that. So yeah, tag. But I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah,
one last
same.
Yeah. Hello, are you back?
I am.
Okay. Hello back. I'm curious. Okay, no, okay. So one more thing about Shinji Iwai. So like while I was pissing, I thought of this. So Lily Choo Choo is like a great movie, my favorite movie probably, right? And it's the most popular Shinji Iwai movie. But in a way, I feel like it does not really represent his oeuvre as well as Swallows a Butterfly or stuff like that. Like it's
probably, yeah.
you know, it has its best parts about like the visual representation is so fucking good. Like I can't get out of the scene in my head. Like the acting, like how he like. You know, the first time one of the girls, I forgot the name, like gets into prostitution, there's a scene of her just like dousing her like garden hose into her body like for like a minute straight, and then the guy's just watching in the back and it's like, oh fuck, she's trying to clean herself. But when it comes to the misery balancing out with the humor, there's less of that in the film, and I think it's because he got a budget. Fuck you, he shouldn't have a budget. all right, tag.
So this is something that we've talked about before. I think you probably maybe have it in your list. Maybe it's higher. It's not higher because the next three are like huge. Also, this is like my fourth one because we did hold off on Brain Game. But it's fine. 1,000 X Resist.
It's higher for me as well.
Okay. I mean, that's fine because I have like two that's like... we'll get there, and then also another one that's also huge.
Well, let's talk about
this. When it comes to media, this is like the second. So
yeah, well, this is 1,000 Times Resist is my game of the year.
Nice. I think it probably is for me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the list. Yeah, it's brilliant. We talked about it a lot. We talked about it on the last episode a lot, but then
we did. So I guess we won't talk too much about it. But it's
there's a you that remains and remains.
Yep, and remains. There's a dangerous gravity.
There's a dangerous.
Oh man,
gravity.
there's a lot of things to remember about it. It is indie. It's an indie game by I forgot
Asian people.
The name.
Sunset Traveler. No, that's the developer. No. That's the developer. Wait, is it the developer? Sunset Visitor is the
Sunset Visitor.
Fellow Traveler is the publisher.
Okay.
Actually, I know that because Citizen Sleeper is also published by Fellow Traveler. They do good stuff.
But yeah, it's a great game. It has, so it like, although its plot is like oddly specific, it like uses that oddly specific plot to explore a lot of things, and it does not do a bad job at all at it, and that's the crazy part because the budget is not too high, and like the plot itself is quite oddly specific, but they managed to do a lot with what they have. And what they do is insanely good and insanely like heart-wrenching to watch at times. And like I've already talked about all this in the past episode. There's the one scene that made me cry. And then also, incredible soundtrack, incredible direction. Art direction.
The soundtrack I'll just mention. I've gained an additional appreciation of it because I used a Watcher, the song, in my Mario video. In one of the more emotionally resonant moments.
Yeah, I remember.
And I felt like that fit really well. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I think we can just finish the resist talk for now. Like we've talked about it so much.
Yeah, great game. Have. So great game. It's a game of the year.
It. Game of the year. Yep. Game of the goddamn year. All right. I'm waiting.
It's you.
What is you? Yeah, you just talked about resist. Yeah. So you need to tag to me.
Yeah, tag.
Okay. I was like, oh my god, bro. Why? Okay. So number 3 on my list, because we have a lot of overlaps, is Versus Wolves. When I look at what happened, look at what I've enjoyed over the past year, I can't lie and say that Versus Wolves isn't like the most entertaining thing, probably.
Damn. I mean, it's kind of surprising because I thought I would be more inclined to put like anything Super Eye Patch Wolf. But it's you. Yeah,
because I just, it's really funny because in one of the podcasts, the Patreon podcast that I supply you, Eye Patch Wolf says that Michelle, his wife, doesn't watch his videos but watches versus wolves. Like it's just like
So
it's a
you're
different.
his wife.
It's like no, it's a different
like his wife,
dynamic.
okay.
It's a different dynamic in that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
it is,
I do agree. Like the friendship and just the competitive podcasting they've been able
It
to
is.
introduce, and like the malice that boils under it, and you know, the friendship era right now, which people call the golden age, and I think that's really fitting. And it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I love the community that's spawned around it.
Yeah,
and
true.
I they are just like I really didn't. I really underestimated how great iPad Wolf is at playing this like benevolent heel, and this guy who's just like, oh my god. He just doesn't fucking get it. Like the first episode, he can be like, "Oh, I'm gonna trap you here, Wooly. I'm gonna recommend you Hunter x Hunter." And the next episode is like, "Oh, I just recommended that wonderful show to a friend. How can you be mad?" It's like it's awesome. It's perfect. Like it's episodic storytelling to his best, and I love it. Also, the discussion of media is very good as well because they've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've also really, you know, I've grown a fondness for Wooly as well. Like he seems like a really earnest guy, even though he doesn't like David Lynch. So fuck you. So yeah, this podcast has brought me so much joy, and the next podcast is gonna be Kaiji versus Kendrick fucking Lamar. I'm gonna pop off, man. Kendrick, they're gonna talk about Kendrick. A white
Holy
boy
shit.
and a black guy is gonna talk about Kendrick.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Wait,
Damn.
really? Oh yeah, I'm sorry to spoil it for you, but
That's fine.
crazy.
I also really like the podcast, but I haven't been haven't caught up with it because, as I said, the past few weeks have been really hectic for me. But
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, you've got so much content to enjoy, and yeah,
I have.
It's gotten to a point where I'm conceptualizing like an essay about parasociality, because like the way I felt about this podcast is like different from like other shit I usually like. So I'm gonna leave it there for now. Yeah.
Nice.
Tag.
Okay. The Beast. I've talked about this film.
It's
before.
number 3, right?
Three.
Oh.
It's I don't know, like, okay, I watched, so you know that there are media that you consume or experience. Consume is such a weird word. It's like the content of verbs, I guess. There's media that you experience at the right time of your life, right? Like Evangelion was for me.
Same.
And maybe even Utena last year.
Sure.
The Beast is a film. I'm not going to spoil it because I know you're a spoiler baby. You should watch it, definitely.
I will.
It is a film about I guess the main pull for this film, for me at least, is its really heart-wrenching exploration of this feeling that you get, which isn't exactly loneliness, but is also not exactly like anxiety or dread, but it's like a really weird mixture of all of it. And like so what is The Beast? The Beast is kind of like a sci-fi film about a woman who, for plot specific reasons, which I won't get into, experiences past lives where all of the what is interesting about her past lives is that all of them are similar in that they have this encounter with this other guy who you know, their relationship, these two people, this woman and this guy, their relationship is very I guess, how do you call it? It transcends lives, it transcends time, right? But it's weird because the woman, what the Beast itself is that in each of her lives, the woman experiences this weird fear of something that will happen in the future. And she feels like, during all of her lives, she feels that this thing, which she dubs the Beast or La Bete or something, and that came out.
Why is he Italian? Mario, isn't this French?
That's my Luigi Mangione. Okay, which she calls the Beast. And each one of her lives, it's the guy who's like, I'll fight the beast with you. Basically, I'll fight the beast with you. Maybe not in the exact same, their relationship differs from life to life. That's weird, but still, it's kind of the same, kind of similar-ish dynamic there. But yeah, the main thing is that the film is a really, really good. It really gets into her feeling of loneliness and how she deals with it, and I guess, I don't know, how she fails to deal with it more specifically. And then there's like this specific scene where she's like in the present of the film, right? Which is in the future for us, I guess, I don't know. Where she goes to a club and like she asks other women about, hey, can I join you? So other women are like, why? She says, I don't want to be alone. And it's a very simple thing, but with all the context and with all the narrative that you've been following, it really like hits you when she's in that specific scene. And also, there's another aspect of it which just popped into my mind actually. Mm-hmm. So the sci-fi thing comes in because in the future, which is the present of the film, there is AI. And the AI is trying to do something to the human brain. I think it's trying to like get rid of bad feelings or something.
Oh, okay.
But she is very apprehensive about that. And like I think I don't know. I think I really relate to it because I guess we'll find. I don't know. I relate to it because I kind of so. Her position in the present of that film is that she is still holding on to like hurt and like discomfort and feelings that are really not fun to experience for basically no reason. She gives no like philosophical or logical argument for why, but she just does it. And I kind of see myself in her. A lot of the times. I too.
Like
I guess
you do feel that. Like sometimes I was like, hey, what's wrong? It's like something's happening. I was like, what do you mean? It's I don't know.
Yeah, and like the weird part is like all the stuff I can probably like drown out my worst feelings. I guess we'll kind of talk about it in the upcoming stuff. But I can kind of like treat my kind of treat my bad feelings. Like how the other people in her present do with the AI and shit. But I don't know. I can't explain why, but I just feel like that is a part of me that I am not willing to let go of, even though it is very, very painful at times. And also, again, there is stuff about loneliness, which I guess we'll also talk about in the upcoming sections of the list. But yeah, great film. Bladee. It's also very cool cinematography. The main character is played by I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Léa Seydoux.
You take that one then. I don't know.
But what is interesting is that she is not. This is not the first time I'm seeing her, because she is also in Death Stranding.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
She's in Death Stranding. I think Hideo Kojima is like a big fan of hers, I think.
That's fair. Yeah, you talked about this film last time on the podcast, but I did not know that it meant so much to you in that way.
It did.
And that's crazy. I'm glad to hear that, man. I mean, I'm not glad as in you have this exact thing, but as in like it's interesting to it's good to hear that you connected with something that much. Yeah, that's cool.
Tag.
You should just review your number two because.
Okay.
All right. Here's the thing. Number two for me is 1,000 times resist, and number one is fucking Bladee. But you can talk about.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll
talk about Bladee because Bladee is also there, and also I have a couple of things to say.
Yeah, but I want to.
Number two.
Yeah, talk about your number two, and then we can go to Bladee, and then yours.
Number two is kind of okay. This is kind of weird. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's the global anti-Palestine. No, sorry, not Palestine. Jesus,
anti-Palestine.
No.
buddy.
Pro-Palestine. I was saying anti-Israel. The global pro-Palestine protests that has been going on, especially the student protests that I want to mention. I just think it's very cool. I'm not saying I don't think again living in India in a pretty affluent state in India, this has nothing to do with me, right?
Yeah.
The the genocide of Palestine, of Gaza, it has nothing to do with me. But like, I'm glad. I mean, even for I guess people living in America, like students, right? It has nothing to do with them. But I'm glad that even today, even after all, we talk about the apathy in the current generation, the apathy in postmodernism, and how people don't care about anything anymore. I think it's. So, have you seen True Detective?
No. What is the segue? Hey, Palestine, have you seen True Detective?
No. True Detective is about like the very cynical guy, cynical, literally me, Ryan Gosling like guy, played by Matthew McConaughey, and at the end, why?
Because I read his autobiography because we had to do it for school, and he's just a fucking asshole.
Right.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well,
he's just like faux spiritual. Like I don't know, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's cool. Like he's a cool guy. As in,
he's
like
very handsome. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of thing. Okay, kind of a tangent maybe. I realized. Okay, we will talk about this later.
Oh, number one, I'm coming out as gay.
No. I technically what I'm talking about kind of makes me not gay. I guess I don't know. Isn't like I kind of perceive. I don't perceive like handsome. I don't get when people say men are handsome. I kind of view all the handsome men as cool. As in that, holy shit, this guy's really fucking cool. That's the word that comes to my mind when I say cool. So, for example, what was that guy's name? Alain Delou? Do you know Alain Delou?
No, I don't. Who's that guy?
Alain Delou. It's Alain Delon. He's like the coolest motherfucker of all time.
Let me look it up right now. Alain Delou.
Alain, it's Alain, right? It's a French guy.
Alain Delon. Holy fuck, he's so hot. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's cool. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I guess that I realized I'm coming out as straight. I guess I don't know. It makes no sense. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting because like I think cool maybe implies a little bit of like somebody to aspire to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you want to be cool, right?
Yeah, I want to be cool.
Well, I feel like my version of cool is never going to be that specifically. So maybe that's why I'm more comfortable just calling like Matthew McConaughey handsome, because I'm not like, no, I don't want to be him. Like you can give me $1 million.
I don't want to be Matthew McConaughey, but like he has the okay. I'm gonna use that word, aura, right?
All right, we're ending the podcast. Bye bye.
This is the archaic meaning of aura. He has the cool aura to him about like his his demeanor and shit.
I think you're just a straight man. I think you're a straight man.
Yeah,
I call people slay all the time.
God damn it.
Yeah. You know what?
Are you disappointed?
No, I'm not disappointed. You know, I think we need a straight man here to balance out all the.
Okay. Sure.
Stupid
we need a. Okay, I guess it doesn't apply to the Disco Elysium duo because Kim is gay and Harry is Harry.
Well, we're kind of like that. I'm kind of like, no, I'm not like him at all. Yeah,
you're not like Kim. You can be gay, but you'll never be Kim.
Also, I'm not gay. I just say that as a joke. I'm not gay. I don't think I'm gay. Sure. I'm like non-binary or something like that. Okay. Palestine protests. Yes.
Yeah. So what I was talking about was that in True Detective, in the ending, he's like a doomer guy, right? Mm-hmm. And in the end, there's a quote by him where it's like him and his partner. What's his name? Fuck, I think it's Marty. Marty and Rust. Yeah, Rust and Marty. So they is kind of like disco. We've talked about this, right?
Yeah.
So they look up at the sky and like Marty's like, looks like there's more darkness than light in the sky. I guess that's you were right. everything is shit. But like then Marty's like this really hyper doomer guy who has gone through a lot of bad shit, and who's basically who's obsessively investigated into the worst depraved shit of all time. Says like actually. In the beginning there were no stars, so in that sense the light is actually winning, and that kind of like stuck with me, and that's kind of what I feel when I first heard about the student protests and all that stuff coming from all over the world. Actually, I'm very glad that even though it's not like the class consciousness is not like it was in the 1968 Paris, there is still hope, right?
Yeah. I think well, I wanted to say there was still hope a week ago, and then you know what happened with Syria recently? Did you keep up?
Yeah, but
oh my god, bro! What do you mean? Fuck you, Israel. Yeah.
But when I say there's still hope, I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. I get what you mean.
Fuckers will do shit, right? But
very eloquently said, Mr. Gray, Mr. Video Essayist.
Okay, bastards will be bastards, right?
Okay, sure,
but
sure.
There is still hope. People, we can still see for things as they are, and I think we can still do things with our lives, and I think realizing that is a huge deal when it comes to being alive nowadays, today, right? I know a lot of like doomer, like cynical Marxists. I wouldn't even call them Marxists. Cynical people, cynical leftists. I don't know, online as well as in real life, and they just really fucking bum me out. And I'm just really happy that people are still there protesting and doing the good deeds, I guess, fighting the good fight.
Yeah. And Jordan Peterson is the guy who said, clean your room first or something like that. But I mean, like, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. If you don't want to be doomer, try to make a friend first. That could help. That's all I'm gonna say.
And this kind of like leads into my top one, so we'll stop there and go to Bladee and Drain and
who is my only friend? I mean, okay. I mean, like, I couldn't justify putting anything else on the top of the list, considering I literally started a channel about Bladee.
Yeah, I think I also, in hindsight, I would probably put them, Drain Gang, right, higher. But I just have a lot of stuff. That's why.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, I just created this list, so I didn't really think too much about it. But yeah, Drain Gang. Did you come across Drain Gang this year?
No, I came across them. Around 2 years ago when Crest came out, and another incident, Burrito Don. Remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Doesn't
he have a video via like
about Bladee?
Or something? Yeah.
He got deleted it because he couldn't handle hate comments or something like that. But
damn.
Yeah, he made that video, and I was like, okay, it sounds interesting. I tried to listen to Crest, but I couldn't get into it because I didn't understand it. And eventually I got more and more into it. I liked The Fool, and then I got like more stuff by them. But it was actually really just like this year, starting from like beginning of this year. And then I was like, I really, really like this guy. I think I really get him. And then I befriended Jenya, and then we just got even more into it, both together. I mean, he was very into it as well. And it's just like when you find a community around something, you have more excuses to dive into something. And I started just having more thoughts about Bladee as well. Like, I find him so fascinating as this like figure of like you can say that a lot of his music, especially earlier or later, is just kind of about something more spiritual, something more abstract, and Cold Visions is like. Okay, let's talk not talk about Code Visions for now, but like his earlier stuff, I felt really reflected the white middle class European detached from mainstream culture, because mainstream culture is all in fucking America, like that kind of life. He just encapsulates that perfectly. Like most of his music earlier was about like one of his best songs at the beginning was called eBay, and it's just about buying boxes from eBay and talking to females. Like that's one of the lines, and it's just like it's about consuming, and that what you consume becoming your own identity, because you don't have anything and you just have something you have empty inside, and then you're trying to find love, but you're failing again and again, and you don't know if you'll ever feel happy again. And like that's in this earlier music, and now later it just becomes like he kind of becomes a parody of himself in a way. Like he keeps talking about this thing until it just like he gains his self-awareness about it on albums like Ice Dancer, where he's just like, I don't know, like it's weird. It's like it's so excessive, and he has his tongue in his cheek. And he's feel like, okay, I gotta get out of this place, and eventually he does, with Crest and albums like that, where he's like happier and shit. And then he dives way back in again with Cold Visions, where it's just like, it's all about him. It's all about how miserable he is, how he doesn't like people. I don't like people. I don't like people. I really, really, really don't like people. And and all of that. And his music on one hand is like I could read into that narrative, but also again I think it's just very visceral. Like you just feel it, and I think he really speaks to the people who are struggling with that. Like what they buy is their identity. I got new designer shoes today. That's all I am for the next week. Like and that's why I think it's able to gather such a passionate fan base, because it's really just outside of music. Like it's not like anything else. And a lot of people really like. I thought it was silly at first that people could cry to Drain Gang, but now I'm like, dude, like, there's very few music that can represent them. These types of people, like these, like middle class, white, aimless, consumerist, miserable, probably like not American. I mean, even though he has a huge American fan base. Like people, Europeans, who are just really connecting to him. So yeah, like I don't know. What do you think about Bladee?
I mean, I don't have that deep of an analysis, stuff to talk about. It's because it's been 2 weeks, but I have like basically listened to like three albums to completion, and a lot of other tracks from other albums.
All right, name off your top five tracks now.
Okay,
on the top of your head.
I guess The 9 Is Up.
Okay.
Like it sounds like fucking God. Okay.
Really? D9 is up?
Yeah.
I love that song.
And then there's, just because it's been in my mind for a while,
Flatline, good.
Yeah. And then Be Nice to Me is a very funny song, but I really, really like it because it's good. It's a good, funny song. But it's also...
Have you heard a gay version of it? No. If it's a dick, I gotta bite it. No.
Okay. And then I guess, this is not Blade, this is Drain Gang, but it's Echo 2K. Calcium.
Yeah.
And also Fragile is also really good. Yeah. Holy shit. I really fucking love Calcium. And also that one what is it? Live performance video. Holy fucking shit, dude. I fell in love, dude. Holy shit.
Echo 2K is really just like, he's such a good performer, like such a star.
He is. And he's like, he's very like into it, right? And you can like his energy, like what do you call it?
What?
My words are not wording.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
His energy spills over, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Infectious, yeah.
Infectious, yes, exactly.
If it's an asshole, I'm inside it. If I see dick, I gotta ride it.
Yeah.
I got a boner, gotta hide it. If I see foreskin, gotta bite it.
Okay.
To be honest, I see cock, I'ma suck it all night. I'm not gonna suck if you don't fucking come in my eye. Oh my god, this is worse than I thought it would be. Oh wait, okay. All right.
Okay. I mean, I like a lot of them. A lot of the songs actually. That's the craziest thing because
once you like one, you like all of them, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like usually, when I like artists, I like albums and I like a few songs. But I like most of the stuff they're making. That's fucking huge.
That's the style. This is like when you have such a unique style. This is the same thing I feel about Mount Eerie and stuff like that. But yeah. Okay, top 5 for me right now. Have you heard TLDR?
No. Okay.
Oh, it's the song with all of Drain Gang on it. It's like dark and Echoes like does a really interesting voice on there. TLDR is great. Obedient, amazing.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. A bad dog, but for you, I'm obedient. Best song on The Fool is Trendy for me. Came back again from extraordinary length. I talked about it in the bracket where it's like it sounds like a alien children's rhythm, and that's great. Really weird album by Bladee, Exeter. the little clown thing that I have on my T-shirt. That album has interesting songs where it's just like it's so weird, like so broken. All the beats sound like they've been like left to rust for 10 years. It's a very unique thing. I recommend that one, and also of course Glue, which is his earliest album, maybe his best, and the last song Unreal is unreal. So all right.
My first listen was Crest, and Crest I think is like a 10 out of 10 album. I don't think there's a single track in there that I do dislike.
Really? Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, this is great. Desire is a Trap is amazing. Chaos Follows. I love Chaos Follows. It's probably like a sleeper hit.
Same.
The way that everything like just hits it so hard. But my favorite is Faust. I told you this.
I also I really love Faust as well.
If only.
And isn't there like an 8-minute track that's like
5-star Crest.
in tribute of someone?
Yeah. So it's in tribute to Vaterum, who died of suicide. And he was a group of associate of Drain Gangs for a long time, like when they started. And actually, he was the one who introduced Highboy Digital, another member of Drain Gang, to the other guys. I talked about it in my bracket video. But yeah, you should listen to more Echo. You should. Have you heard? Have you heard the song I sent you, like the newest stuff, PXE, like In the Flesh and stuff like that?
I did listen to In the Flesh, but not the other one.
Yeah.
But this is just the beginning, guy.
Just the beginning of the Drain journey. I'm so excited. I'm generally like, I sometimes like, we're both busy in school days, but sometimes I'd ask him for a Drain update. I'm like, what's happening with Blade today? And I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's my number one. And tune in for Bliss.wave. We're gonna get 1K. I'm predicting next month. Fuck it. Let's go.
Nice. If you can do it, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, what's your number one, boy?
Okay. I mean, this is kind of like...
Number one is the friends we made along the way.
Technically, yeah.
What? Okay, go on.
No, not exactly. It's, I put it as having friends / opening up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just hit it on the head. I'm the GOAT. No, it's your moment. Great.
No, you've been talking to me too much. That's... So in the beginning of the year, so first off, I am not a very social person, not a very outgoing person. But the thing is, my worldview, my politics, my philosophy, my everything else
requires you to go outside.
Pro community thing, and I really don't want to be, that kind of dissonance, right? You advise all this good shit, but you never do it. Yeah. And I've always felt guilty for that, and so I've always wanted to try it out, but never do until something happened, which was that I think I did talk about it on this podcast. This summer vacation, which is April to May. I had kind of like a burnout thing, panic attack kind of thing. Yeah. I was like holed up in my home, was in my room. There was nothing, like, it just felt fucking empty, basically.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, this year, I did end up opening up to more people and making friends, I guess.
Yes,
I mean, outside
you made friends.
Of course, here.
Yay!
And I also did open up in a different way.
Do you want to talk about that? I mean, sure, buddy. It's your floor.
Okay, there's one person that does watch my video that.
Oh, really? Wait, she doesn't watch
but
the
it's
podcast, does she? This is also too long.
She wouldn't. Yeah, hopefully she wouldn't. I mean, even if she does, it's fine.
Wait, does she know we have a podcast?
She does. She said she did a detailed viewing of it.
What the fuck is that? All right.
Anyway, but it's fine. I do trust her because we're good friends. I think I do trust her.
Yes, finally you got a friend. Also, should we reveal that you have embarrassing nicknames for them both because for them all?
Don't. No. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, there's no other way I can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'll let you take away. I'll let you take away. You approach the situation how you see it.
Okay. So I don't know how to phrase it without making myself embarrassed.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I have realized, it's not a realization, I've always known it, but right now, this is the moment that I have come to terms with myself as someone who is a very romantic person. It's not just that like I obviously, I like art, I like all that stuff. I see beauty in the mundane or whatever. I don't know. I am that kind of guy. I'm a chill guy.
Did the chill guy meme, spread to your neck of the woods?
It did.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, but okay. I'm I'm an actual chill guy. Anyway,
I have an urge to shut you the fuck up right now. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm a very romantic person, and also I think my own my own beliefs and philosophy and my own opinion. I don't want to use those kind of terms because it's a different thing. My own values, I guess, does indeed have a lot to do with community and like feeling things for other people. And so I guess, I don't know, I fell in love. Is that a word? Is that how you say it?
Yes, that's how you say fell in love. Great. English 101.
But it's different. Because it's nuanced, okay?
What's the nuance?
The nuance is it's I mean, every manifestation of the universal changes the universal. Don't you know that?
Just get to the fucking story.
Okay, so I have feelings for a person. I have feelings of a person, and I never wanted to. So this is the thing, right? I always feel like I don't deserve to feel things for other people.
Wow.
It's something that I've always, not always, but I think always dealt with. It's not just about like romantic feelings, but also about like platonic friendly feelings. If I want to get close to somebody because they look fun or cute or whatever, I feel like I shouldn't, because that's not something I'm supposed to do. I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not allowed to have those feelings. I don't know. That thing hasn't gone away. It's still very much there, but I have made progress of some sort, because I did end up confessing this year, only last week actually. I mean, nothing came of it, but I'm just fast. That's the thing. Okay, I'll get into a little bit more detail. I had a cousin come over, and we talked about a lot of things, and he specifically asked about, how's it going? How do you make friends? Do you have a crush on somebody or anything? And like I told him about, my situation. And like, here's the thing. We talked about, so he said, it's fine if it's just a crush, it's fine. You don't have to confess or whatever. It will go away. But if it's something deeper than that, then confessing is probably the best thing to do. Otherwise, it would really eat you out. Eat you out. Okay, what the fuck? Yeah, it'll eat you up, basically. Hello. Wait.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, holy shit, my computer froze. The power of love. It'll eat at you, I guess. And then as I describe it, I see his face turn from, oh hey, look at my little cousin having experiencing teenage love for the first time, to like, oh shit, I've been there before. I need to let him know what happened, etc. Basically, he was concerned because like he has also gone through like a similar situation, and he also knows people who are like who are, I guess, kind of like me, and that like bottling up feelings because it's reasons. So he told me to confess, and I guess by that point I couldn't care less anymore. I just need to get it over with. I just need to like get it out there, I guess. So I did tell her that, and I mean, nothing came of it. I mean, it was also not like a confession, isn't that like, hey, you want to be my girlfriend, that kind of thing. I just said, I have feelings for you. That's all. I'm not looking for anything. That's all there is. But my main takeaway from this is that I'm glad that I was able to like do that, because
Yeah, for sure.
me like 2 years ago would probably be the last thing that I would have ever thought of doing. And before that would probably, I don't know, I would probably kill myself before I would like actually tell people about things like that. Even about like, you know, wanting to make friends, even about like feeling bad things, even about feeling lonely. I would never tell anybody about feeling lonely, because I don't, you know, it's not something that I should be feeling.
Yeah.
I guess, I've grown in that aspect. So
You've come a long way,
opening
man.
up. Yeah, I have. I guess, so the main takeaway is that opening up is always good, even if it's with people who are not like, you know, totally your type of people. Opening up is always good, and seeking community and talking with other people, because that is, at the end of the day,
The point of
people,
everything.
humans. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, man.
So take this as a signal to, I don't know, build communities and like talk to people.
Exactly. Now, if you can't like manage community, just like find somebody to talk to. Like that's already a
Exactly.
great start. Yeah, it's been awesome seeing your progression this year. Because
Thank you.
I think
Also,
like, really,
also I need to thank you, because like, dude, even like before, like, okay, how do you say this? Before I used to like bottle things up. I think like talking to you and like telling you all the stuff, you know, the bottled up stuff, is, I guess, the first step in this, I guess, progression or like growth or whatever. I don't believe in growth. The self does not exist. But anyways.
yeah. You know, the same thing for me too, and for sure. Yeah, it's about having somebody to talk to about this. Definitely helped me as well, and let me to. It's so important. Just find somebody to talk to. It's so good. It's a very important thing, and it's even better when they stop just talking to you and just like start talking to other like people and like touch grass and like do good things.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a pretty wholesome note to end off of, to be honest. You know.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know what to say. Emotional vulnerability. I can't. No. So. Well, thank you, Gray, for existing. Please come over here soon.
You too.
And thank
Hopefully.
you. And thank you for sticking out this 3-hour goddamn podcast that I need to edit probably. And yeah, thank you for watching. Shout out Meadow Girl if you're watching. I don't think she is. And
yeah, maybe she will. I don't know.
yeah, and yeah, thank you for watching another year of Purposes of the Pale, because I guess it's a year 2, but you know we started towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, holy shit, this podcast has been also, you know, more than a year already, which is fucking crazy. Oh my God.
I mean, we're not the most consistent people, but we'll be there.
We'll be there. We'll be there one of these days for sure. You know, thank you the world for another year of good media and hope, and occasionally despair, but hope still. That's okay. New Year's resolutions. I actually have one, which is to pick up Latvian again. I live in Latvia, and I'm leaving soon, and I want to take this opportunity to be like, let me just like read a book or something in Latvian, just like, you know, to get some fundamentals down. That's my resolution for the year, and also get bitches, fuck hoes. That's it.
I mean, my New Year's resolution is kind of similar in that like I want to learn German. Yeah, German. And I guess also that, but like in a non-misogynistic way. I want to make friends. I'm the good guy here, fellas. I'm the good guy.
I'm not like other guys, girls. All right.
I want to make friends and also find a community. I'll be going to college soon. We will both be going to. I guess this is like next year this time. If we're both still alive. I won't be here. You won't be there. Either. I think, right?
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm fucking scared. And
it'll be all right.
We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right indeed. Yeah. Okay. That's it for now. Bye bye.
Yep.
I'm fucking done.
Ta-ta.
Auf Wiedersehen.